Paul Goldschmidt, how about this for the slugger for Arizona? 5th in the National League in extra base hits last year. He's 5th on his own team this year. They have got to get him going, Arizona does. They're in St. Louis today, and we've got it for you here on FS1 right now.
Hey, hey, hey! Da-da-da!
It's a gunner! It laps sends that way out of here! In time! Oh, my. Nitkowski, oh, what a catch! That one is blasted! Way back! And gone! And he got it! Rando Bridget! Oh, my goodness, what a catch! This may go! Walk it off! Matt Carpenter!
Welcome to the MLB on FS1 pregame show. We are sponsored by Budweiser. So glad to have you aboard. And we also welcome those of you watching on Fox Sports Arizona and Fox Sports Midwest. Remind you to turn over to FS1 at the top of the hour for the actual game. All right, why don't I tell you who I'm with here if you already don't know. We've got the Hall of Famer, the Big Hurt, Frank Thomas. The D-Train is here, Dontrell Willis, and I'm Kevin Burkhardt. So we got a busy day of baseball starting on FS1. It'll finish on Fox. What are you watching today, Big Frank?
For me, I'm watching the Giants and the Cubs. This is a big matchup. You know, the Giants went out and spent a lot of money to retool their starting rotation to compete with the Cubs and the Mets in the National League.
And I'm watching Boston versus the Indians today. This is a big start for Joe Kelly. He returns to the rotation, and he goes up against Trevor Bauer, who's had a solid start of this season so far, 3-1.
Frank, that game you talked about on MLB on Fox later, that game won't be, but that's just tough. We can't air every single game. Headlines from last night, why don't we check in with those, get you up to date. We'll begin in Boston. Jackie Bradley Jr. extending his hitting streak to 25 games, longest in the majors this year. Red Sox, though, fell to the surging Indians at Fenway. They fell a game behind the Orioles in the AL East. Manny Machado homered. He was great at shortstop in a 5-4 win. The O's beat Mike Trout and the Angels. Let's talk about the Dodgers, guys. They lost. They really have not been playing well. Lost 3 in a row. And I think for them, it's pretty simple, right? When you look at, here it is. Clayton Kershaw, when he's been excellent again. When he starts, they are 8-1. When he doesn't, anybody else starts, they're 13-21. They've got issues. So no one else other than Kershaw and Kenley Jansen is pitching, even though Jansen blew it last night. They're not hitting for the most part. So, Dontrell, there are issues for the Dodgers. Question is, how do they fix it?
Well, they have a lot of money tied up with guys injured already, but I think they should stay within, go in the minor leagues. They have Urias down there with a 27-inning scoreless streak in AAA. That's hard to do at any level. I think they should give him a couple of chances to get a spot start and see if he can be a shot in the arm for this rotation, but I don't think it'll hurt right now. I think the time is now. I understand he's young, but I was a young guy, too, in that position. Sometimes you need lightning in a bottle. I know we love saying that, but I think this is a key right now, especially in the starting pitching department. They need more consistency, especially after Clayton Kershaw.
Sometimes you just got to face the music. Injuries will catch up with you, but you lost Zach Greinke, a real ace, a true ace with Clayton Kershaw. Almost last year, you watch him go back-to-back all year long, winning their starts. It's a little different for the Dodgers this year. I think right now that they're just treading some water that's coming from San Francisco because the Giants are that much better than them this year. And you got to face the music sometime.
And until last night, the Giants were surging. You talked about Julio Urias. He's 19, but he's considered a top 10 prospect in baseball.
Give him a call, baby.
We'll see if that phone rings. We'll see if that phone rings. Couple earlier games going on today. So why don't we get you up to date? White Sox Royals. Just a good one last night. First batter of the game, Alcides Escobar. Off Miguel Gonzalez going the other way, and then 2 batters later, Lorenzo Cain, base hit. Going to move Escobar to third. These Royals, they're starting to come to life. Next batter, it's the Haas. Gets it deep enough to score Escobar, and it's 1-0 Kansas City. That game in the top of the 5th inning. Blue Jays and Twins. First inning, Josh Donaldson at the dish. Donaldson hit a monster home run last night. This particular time, he is going to ground out to third base. Doesn't really like it, doesn't hustle out of the box. And then on the way back, Minnesota dugout says something for not hustling. Donaldson responds, and Tony Bazzer, the umpire, tosses him out of the game.
Yeah, that's kind of a weird ordeal, but that's his fault. He should have hustled out of the box, especially being the captain and leader of that team. You definitely don't want to set that precedent.
That's the league MVP.
That's crazy. Here's Jose Bautista. 2-run home run. You know what? This Batista in the leadoff thing might be working. He's got a couple home runs the last couple of days.
Well, he's getting to see a few more fastballs. And that's the key of leading off. You can't start the game. You can't start the game off with changeups and curveball for guys used to hitting 3-4. They're starting him off with a fastball, and he's taking advantage of it.
What about throwing Donaldson out there? I mean,
That's shocking.
Yeah, that's a tough call, but in that situation, though, they're already been a chippy, especially last week in Texas. So I think a lot of umpires are keeping their eye on this ball club and seeing if they're not jawing a little too much, and that's what happens. You should have ran out of the box, first of all. I think that's where he messed up at. If he hustles out of the box, you won't ever hear that comment coming from the umpire as well.
All right, fair point. All right, Big Train will be back in a little bit. Pretty clear who the best team in baseball so far is this season. That would be the Cubbies. Who's number 2, though? Frank and Dontrell cast their votes with hit and run. That'll come up next. Plus, this week in baseball, some rather bizarre moments, as always. We looked at the video, what we come up with, the very latest edition of the Fox Funnies. Oh, my goodness. Later on, we'll break down what it means to play the Cardinal way, why St. Louis has been able to maintain success no matter which players come and go. And as we take you to break, one more look at the Big Train, our hybrid creation here on FS1. He'll be pitching later on today. Oh, my goodness. Baseball all day. We're with you. Thanks for tuning in. We're back.
You like that?
Our game coming up on FS1. It's Gene Segura. His 61 hits lead the major leagues this year. Arizona and St. Louis in 22 minutes on FS1. It's time now for Hit and Run. First quarter awards edition. We got 90 seconds on the clock, and away we go with Frank and Dontrell. If the Cubs are the best team in the league, Frank, who is number 2?
New York Mets.
Oh.
With that starting rotation, they're not going anywhere. The key is Matt Harvey. We got to get him going. If they get Matt Harvey going, they got a chance of repeating getting back to the World Series.
I have to go with the Boston Red Sox. At least 5 guys hitting over 300 right now. The pitching has yet to get going. If they get the pitching going, they'll be fine.
All right, let's do first quarter awards here. The AL MVP.
It's a close one, but I'm going to go with Mike Trout, batting .323 right now with 10 home runs and driving the bus over there, and Trout being Trout.
The new wild card, Manny Machado. The kid is a young superstar in the game, not getting the respect he deserves. Moves from third base to shortstop to show he's not selfish, and continues to just drive balls out of the ballpark and make all the plays at a tough position.
I think you said the next one on Whip Around last night, for those who weren't watching, the NL MVP.
Nolan Arenado. What he did last year was phenomenal. I don't know how he finished out of the top 3 of MVP, but he's right back on it. This year's National League MVP.
I'm going to have to piggyback him and stay with Arenado. He's a home run leader right now in 14 bombs right now and can play defense like Mike Trout on both sides of the baseball, so he's fun to watch.
This is a really hard one for you, Dontrell, the American League Cy Young.
I'm going to go with Chris Sale, 9-0, a shocker right now with a 1.5 ERA. He's definitely doing a great job over there in the South Side.
Easy, Chris Sale, 9-0.
Harder one, National League Cy Young, though.
I'm going to go with Jake Arrieta. The guy's legendary right now. The winning streak seems like it's never going to end. What he's doing is amazing for the game, and he's handling it very well.
I'm a little tough, Clayton Kershaw or Arrieta, but I'm going to go with Arrieta right now. He's got a 1.29 ERA. He's definitely consistent right now, and he's a big guy right there.
Just going to say Clayton Kershaw, 88 strikeouts and 4 walks.
4 walks.
I'm just going to throw that out there.
I want 4 guys in the inning, so that's amazing.
Real quick, I know the buzzer sounded. How about Manager of the Year? Who would you vote Manager of the Year right now?
I got to go with Dusty Baker and what he's done in Washington. He's got all those guys playing inspired baseball right now, 2 in the lead right now, so he's doing a great job.
I'm going to go with a guy that was supposed to lose 100 games this year, peak mechanic of the Phillies.
Yeah.
No one saw this coming. If the season ended right now, these guys would be in the playoffs on the wild card.
Pete McCann, that's a nice wild card. I like that. He's done a fantastic job, or a funtastic job. Fun is laughing. We like to laugh right now. Some comedy, the latest edition of the Fox Funnies. And here we go. This is so messed up. Watch this. So Joey Votto, Frank at first base, gets it right in Philly. He's going to give the fan a little love.
Oh, man.
Oh, come
He
on,
dekes him out.
I tell you what, that could be a long day at first base. Before the end of the day, they're going to be throwing things at you.
Nah, they were making fun of his pants. I think that's why.
Dude, you're in Philly. You're going to get worn out all day. This is when you combine apple pie with baseball. Sometimes it doesn't really work out.
Just not a good look.
Apple pie day.
Disrespect the pie, like,
disaster.
the glasses, oh my goodness.
Complete waste of pie. Max Scherzer taking a selfie during BP, and there's our Tom Verducci getting makeup.
Metrosexual!
I love you, Tommy. We gotta love you, baby. You gotta clean that up, baby.
This is good. Okay, watch. So the ball's back clearly the pitcher. Brandon Phillips, fake tags Wandy Reed, baby. He thinks he's out.
2 of the funniest guys in the game.
I agree.
Great sense of humor.
Having fun with each other. Look at Juan. He helped that hard.
That's funny. At J.J. Watt's charity softball game in Houston, this is big nose tackle Vince Wilfork. Overalls and no shirt. and the butt shuffle.
That's the real big hurt right there. Look at this thing.
With the largest pair of Oshkosh overalls ever made in history right there, yeah.
This is the Philly Fanatic, and nobody beats the Fanatic. As you see, he is giving it to Jose Fernandez, who then Fernandez steals his go-kart heat.
Way to go, man.
But hold on. It's not over, boys. Fanatic says you're under arrest. I got you.
He's the best in baseball.
He is.
Yeah, he's fun. He never made fun of me, though, because he knew I was going to lose, so he was kind of easy on me up there in Philadelphia, so I really love the Philly Fanatic.
Give credit, Jose, playing along with the bit there. That's good stuff. Be sure to vote for your favorite moment of the week. Simply tweet us at MLB on Fox.
Wait a minute, Kevin. Last night, we got the best funny of the week.
No.
We got to see this. This is the first edition of the Friday Night Ultra Lounge stretch, led by Kevin Burkhardt himself. Work it out, Kev. Work it out, Kev. Work it out, Kev.
Do you see my face? Can we get a still on my face right there? That's the best wedding dance I've seen.
Priceless,
That's
Kevin.
classic wedding dance. Right
Well,
there.
you've been dancing all year. I had to try and match up. I think that dance is called "It's Time to Call the Uber and Go Home." That's what that dance is called. All right. That's good, Frank. I didn't see that coming.
I love it.
Up next, we'll hear from St. Louis players about the Cardinal way, how the organization prepares the next generation for success at the big league level.
There's a way of doing business here. There's a way of going about your work here. There's a way of preparing for a game here. They do a great job at developing players, and then when they get a chance to make it to the major leagues, they're ready to go.
My favorite emoji is the fist pound emoji.
I'd probably go with the sunglasses, you know, just kind of casual.
The wink fade with the palm out, like this one. I like that one.
The fist bump, or sometimes even the clapping hands, particularly for a well-done sarcastic comment.
When I get on the mound, the one with the straight face, no smiles. The one where the eyes winked and the tongue sticks out.
There is Ricky Weeks. He has hit very well against Mike Lee. Couple of home runs and 15 at-bats. Diamondbacks Cardinals coming up in 14 minutes on FS1. It certainly hasn't been the start to the 2016 season the Cardinals had hoped for. We knew that. But with the NL wildcard still very much in reach, we can all expect the Redbirds to be in the thick of the playoff chase one more time. Consistency and tradition embody this organization. And despite whatever adversity comes their way, their philosophy remains the same.
We have a culture here that's different than a lot of other teams I've seen. How this organization is put together from top to bottom makes this a very, very special place to be.
An expectation of winning, an expectation of professionalism. This is a way of thinking that we have in St. Louis.
You know, the Cardinal way, I think, it's, you know, guys who go out there every day, regardless of the talent on the other side of the field or a talent that we have in the dugout, we're going to go out there and play as hard as we can every single day.
It's a philosophy that's been instilled in you from the moment you put on the uniform in the minor leagues when you're coming up. You know, there's a way of doing business here. There's a way of going about your work here. There's a way of preparing for a game here.
That farm system for the Cardinals keeps producing good young players, good young pitching.
The leadership we have, it starts at the top and just works its way down. Those guys set a precedent. Pretty amazing to watch and how this culture it demands success and it breeds it as well.
When you have a tradition like we have here in St. Louis, with as many great players coming before us as we've had with Bob Gibson and Ozzie Smith, Red Shingdings, Lou Brock, Stan the Man Musial, that have been through our clubhouse and made sure that that winning tradition keeps going.
With myself and younger players coming up, we just try and fall in line and do what we're told, but also feed off of the energy that these guys are giving us.
He's got it! Oh, what a catch! It's a gunner! A Redbird winner!
I'm excited for the intensity that this group's going to bring all season.
If you're going to beat us, you're going to beat us with 27 outs made. We're not going to give you a single one. You know, we're going to go out there and grind and, play Cardinal baseball.
You give them an inch, they'll come back and bite you.
It's instilled in you from a very young age, and that's just a testament to this organization. It's a lot of fun to be a part of.
Well, since Mike Matheny took over, by the way, for a legendary manager, Antonio La Russa, he's done pretty well, I'd say, right? Make the playoffs every year. Their win-loss are the best in Major League Baseball. But, this year it's a little bit harder of a road. And the Cardinals, look, they keep bringing guys up and they keep having the same result. But Frank, is this a year though that playoff run comes to an end for St. Louis?
Let's get it out there. Mike Matheny is a great young manager. He's done an incredible job following Tony La Russa. But this year, I think with all the young guys growing up at the Major League level, they finally missed the playoffs since 2011, barely. They can be very competitive all year long. I think they're just a little bit less than what the Cubs and the Pirates are running out there every day.
I'm not ready to give up on these guys yet. I faced these guys many times, and you talk about their culture, but I think the onus lies on the starting pitching department. They have a 4.2 ERA right now. Last year, they had a 2.9 ERA, and with their captain and leader, Adam Wainwright, struggling with almost a 6 ERA right now. He has pitched better of late, but they need to get him going and going deeper in ball games, and I think the staff as a whole has put a lot of pressure on themselves. They need to back off a little bit and just challenge themselves day in and day out to get to the 7th and 8th so they can take a lot of pressure off that bullpen.
And let me say it one more time.
Yeah.
Barely missed. Yeah. They're going to be there. This is a good ball club. I just think the Cubs and the Pirates are just a little bit better than the Cardinals this year.
Yeah, and I think the way you look at it, I mean, we got a long way to go, but figure whoever doesn't win the NL East, Mets or Nationals, right? Maybe the Phillies are still there, but figure one of those teams. And then say the Cubs win the division, Pirates. So you're looking at basically 3 teams for 2 spots.
Exactly.
You know, last year it was Pirates and Cardinals. The Cubs were above everybody else. So that'll be the thing to watch. We have an update from one of the earlier games. Let's go there. Royals and White Sox. We'll show you a scoring update with Lorenzo Cain at the plate against Miguel Gonzalez. And Lo Cain,
lean back.
Yeah, he is. A solo shot for Cain, so it's 2-0. So the Royals trying to take the first 2 games of this series. Cardinals, Diamondbacks coming up right here on FS1 in a couple moments. How about this game specifically? Let's start with Paul Goldschmidt, the slugger, Frank. He just hasn't been himself. The average is down. What are you seeing from him?
Well, in the baseball circle, he's a household name. This guy the last 2 years has been incredible. He's a big-time star. And when you come in Arizona now, teams they're game planning against Paul Goldschmidt. We can't let this guy beat us. So for him, he's just got to make that adjustment. I've been through it, of understanding you got to take more walks and just really wait to get those guys on bases so you can unleash the hammer. This guy's going to be good. He's a great hitter. He's just got to relax a little bit.
All right, you were a teammate, Dontrell, with Mike Leake, who starts with the Cardinals today. His Cardinal tenure didn't get off to a great start after signing that big contract. So what does he have to do to be successful?
He has to do a better job of commanding his sinker fastball. I think he's been leaving his fastball up. He doesn't have the velocity like some of the kind of guys on his staff as well. So he needs to work from the knee down so he can get those ground balls. And when he's going well, he gets ground balls and swings and misses, especially off that slider in the dirt. But he cannot live above the thigh or he's going to give a lot of home runs. He's already given up 7 already early in this year. He's got to work on getting the ball down better.
All right, so we will watch that, especially that matchup, Leake against Goldie. That'll be fun. There's Yadier Molina. He could still hit .315 on the year for Molina. And a reminder to those of you watching on Fox Sports Arizona and Fox Sports Midwest, be sure to turn on FS1 next to watch the game. Enjoy it, people. One more look before we let you go. The big train.
Don't disrespect this Hall of Fame man like that.
I was hoping to see that Friday night Ultra Lounge stretch again, though.
That's coming later.
There it is.
You got your wish.
The Friday night Ultra Lounge pregame stretch. Your teacher is the grown and only great Kevin Burkhardt.
KB. I wasn't disrespecting. You just caught me off guard with the move. You just caught me off guard.
It is a fantastic day for baseball here in St. Louis. The kids have made their way to the ballpark. Paul Goldschmidt, one of the best hitters recently, has been struggling with the bat, but has been very good with the glove. And Aledmus Diaz, he's second in the league in batting, so he's signing some autographs. It's Diamondbacks Cardinals next on FS1. Welcome to the Midwest, the Gateway Arch here in St. Louis. The Arizona Diamondbacks against the St. Louis Cardinals here on FS1. And hello with everybody. Justin Kutcher alongside C.J. Nitkowski. And C.J., last night, Arizona took Game 1 of this series. But you see those records on the title card. And both these teams came in with such high expectations. Let's start off with Arizona. They signed Zach Greinke in the offseason. People think this is a team to be reckoned with in the NL West. Not the start they were hoping for, though.
It hasn't been, and they also brought in Shelby Miller on a big trade from the Atlanta Braves, and they were thinking they had their number 1 and their number 2. Both of those guys got off to very slow starts, and also their all-star, Paul Goldschmidt, a slow start for him. So the good news is that there's a lot of opportunity for a turnaround here for the Arizona Diamondbacks.
As for the St. Louis Cardinals, this is a team, when you say their name, It's just high expectations. You expect them to be in the playoffs.
Absolutely. This has been a consistent organization. They have put out a winner year in and year out. Now, this offseason did not go exactly as planned for Cardinals fans. Jason Hayward doesn't come back. John Lackey doesn't come back. But that's okay because Stephen Piscotty has done an outstanding job, and exactly as the Cardinals thought he would do, he has been more than a replacement for Jason Hayward.
These two teams combined for 18 runs last night on 26 hits. Needless to say, there could be some offense this afternoon. Back here at Busch Stadium in St. Louis, Justin Kutcher alongside C.J. Nitkowski. This is a phenomenal day. It says partly cloudy. I'm going to say it's just sunny. 76 degrees. I mean, this is baseball weather. Moments ago, Yadier Molina, it's right before game time, but hey, you know what? Sign the autograph for that young fan. That's awesome. That's why Yadi is Yadi here in St. Louis. He will be catching Mike Leake, who on the season, the numbers aren't great, but his last two starts, he's been much better.
Absolutely, and it's been important for them because they bring him in to replace Lance Lynn, who they find out they're losing to Tommy John surgery. It was a big blow for this team, but they bring in another reliable guy in Mike Leake, and for them to see him back on track, certainly a big help.
First pitch, Gene Segura lofts one into right field. Piscotty shades his eyes and makes the catch. One pitch, one out here in the first. The lineup for these Diamondbacks. We just saw Gene Segura. Brandon Drury bats second, plays right. Paul Goldschmidt will bat third and play first. Jake Lamb bats cleanup and plays third. Ricky Weeks gets the start in left. Wellington Castillo behind the plate. Chris Owings, Nick Ahmed, and Robbie Ray, the bottom third of the order. And the fastball's in there for a strike to Brandon Drury. Off to a good start this year. Drury 309, 7 home runs, 14 RBIs. Had a home run, a couple of runs scored in last night's victory. And the pitch on the inside corner, first strike. Quickly 0-2 for Mike Leake.
An important key here for Mike Leake. As we mentioned, we know about him. He is a contact pitcher, but it's the cutter that has been so good this year. He's actually very good against left-handed hitters. He has kind of opposite splits, which is interesting. You think about a contact guy, more often than not, he's going to have problems with opposite-sided hitters, but not the case this year for Mike Leake. 195 against lefties this year. Righties are hitting up over 300. The Arizona Diamondbacks know that. Just one lefty in the lineup today in Jake Lamb.
Fastball just low and outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes here to Drury. The 1-2 from Leake. Ground ball, second base, Jed Jerko. 2 away. The defense behind Leake in the outfield from left to right. Matt Holliday, Randall Grichuk, and Stephen Piscotty around the horn in the infield. Matt Adams at first, Jed Jerko at second. Ledmus Diaz at short. Matt Carpenter at third. Behind the plate, Yadier Molina. And here is Paul Goldschmidt, the 3-hole hitter for these D-backs. First pitch swinging, dribbles one foul, 0-1. Goldschmidt's numbers aren't Goldie-like. 236 batting average. That's not the way he usually hits. 8 home runs, 24 RBIs, a career 295 hitter. And they're waiting for him to get going. Fouls it off again, 0-2.
So you're saying he's been more bronze Schmidt, silver Schmidt? See what I did there?
Oh, I saw it.
No worries about Paul Goldschmidt and whether or not he'll be able to get back to where he was. It has been a little bit of a slow start. This guy is one of the best in the game. Perennially an MVP candidate. Does a lot of things well, obviously defensively. Brings a lot to the table as well. But there's no concern in Arizona whether or not he can get it going again.
Pop up shallow center field. This could be trouble. It'll fall in for a base hit. Grichuk moved back on his first step and couldn't recover in time. So a 2-out single for Goldschmidt.
This is always a tough read for an outfielder, especially when you're dealing with a power hitter who was up and you see the big swing. But obviously, for Paul Goldschmidt, he gets jammed on that ball, but it's still the same swing, and the ball just dies. And you mentioned Grichuk. That first step back is very common when you see that big right-handed swing. I don't think he would have gotten to that one anyway. A perfectly placed base hit for Paul Goldschmidt.
So a 2-out single for Goldschmidt. And that brings up Jake Lamb, that lefty you mentioned, in the lineup for these Diamondbacks. 273, 6 home runs, 23 RBIs. He had 2 doubles last night. He has 14 doubles on the season. And Leake, good movement on that pitch, starts him off with a strike. Leake has thrown 10 pitches in this first inning, 9 of them for strikes.
That was a first pitch cutter that Lamb saw, and this is the weapon that Mike Leake chooses to use against those left-handed hitters. When you locate it well, it is a ball that is very difficult to keep fair for those left-handed hitters, and then of course you can also bury it down and in, try to generate some swings and misses on it as well.
Goes outside, misses outside, 1 ball and 1 strike.
And what I think is fascinating about that pitch for him, you mentioned the first one, had a pretty decent amount of break to it at 89 miles an hour. You saw a fastball there at 90 miles an hour. There is not a lot of differential, and that's a good thing when you're throwing a cutter and getting that much movement on it.
Ground ball, second base. Jerko makes the play, and that'll do it here in the first. No runs on 1 hit, 1 man left on. We're through a half inning. No score. The Cardinals coming up. Bottom half of the first, Matt Carpenter all set to lead things off here against the lefty Robbie Ray. Ray on the season 2-2 with a 4.46 ERA. Opponents hitting .285 against him. And the first pitch fastball in the inside corner for a strike. Robbie Ray won his last start against the Yankees when he went 7 innings. Carpenter fouls it off. No balls and 2 strikes.
You see 2 fastballs so far. This is something to keep an eye on with Robbie Ray, is the fastball command. He uses that fastball a lot, throws it 70% of the time. The walk rate is a little bit high, up over 4 per 9, but it's even the command within the strike zone that is going to become very important. He has gone through phases where he has pitched mostly with that fastball and can be successful, but it's going to be all about that command with that pitch today.
0-2 here to Carpenter. You saw Carpenter's numbers, 257, 9 home runs, 32 RBIs. A guy who has great success out of the leadoff spot. Fastball is high and outside. 1-2. The shift is on for Carpenter. 3 guys on the right side of the infield, and Carpenter fouls it back. Stays 1-2. You see those numbers for Robbie Ray, and you think down the line, maybe reliever?
There's been some talk about that, and maybe a possibility. We'll see. Still plenty of time to figure it out in the rotation.
Broken bat base hit for Matt Carpenter. That ball went a long way for a broken bat. The rest of the lineup for the St. Louis Cardinals after that leadoff single by Carpenter. Aledmys Diaz bats second. Matt Holliday in a 3-hole. Stephen Piscotty will back clean up, followed by Yadier Molina and Randall Grichuk. And then Matt Adams, Jed Jerko, and Mike Leake, the bottom third against Robbie Ray. And here is one of the surprise stories of the early season thus far in baseball. Aledmys Diaz, the shortstop, batting .373 with 6 home runs, 23 RBIs, the .373, second in the National League. And he's second behind Daniel Murphy of the Washington Nationals.
When the Cardinals lost Johnny Peralta, there was a lot of talk about should they make an acquisition at shortstop. You know, what should they do in that area? And a lot of people said, well, they have this prospect in Diaz, and there was questions about whether or not he was ready. He has answered the call, at least offensively. He has been more than ready to contribute to this team on an everyday basis. You mentioned it. It has been a surprise story, and a great surprise story. And here come the Cardinals again as we get a look at John Mozeliak, their general manager here, producing young talent through their own system. We're seeing it today just in this lineup alone. A handful of these guys homegrown.
In the dirt, gets away by Castillo, and down to second goes Carpenter. So heads up base running by Matt Carpenter. Should be a wild pitch that allows him to move to second.
This looks like a changeup from Robbie Ray. Certainly a pitch as a left-handed pitcher. You want to put that down and away, but not a pitch that you throw in the dirt trying to get a swing, especially in a 1-1 count.
So 2 balls and a strike now to Diaz. Runner in scoring position. Cardinals trying to strike first here in the first. Trying to put something extra on that fastball. 94 from Robbie Ray. That's consistent with where he usually is, but he's behind on the count now. 3 balls and a strike.
You heard that grunt, and that grunt sometimes speaks to a younger pitcher. It's a 2-1 count. If anything, it's a fastball count. You might want to think about dialing it back a little bit. You get a little bit more movement. Let that ball run to the outside corner.
Diaz off the end of the bat. Onto the outfield grass. Nick Ahmed is back there to make the catch. 1 away. The defense for these D-backs in the outfield from left to right. Ricky Weeks getting the start out there as a righty in the lineup. Chris Owings in center. Brendan Drury in right. Around the horn in the infield. Goldschmidt at first. Gene Segura at second. Ahmed at short. Jake Lamb at third. And behind the plate is Wellington Castillo. Robbie Ray now gets to face Matt Holliday. Holliday fouls the first pitch back. No balls and 1 strike.
Matt Holliday has been an interesting conversation for this organization going back to the offseason. We start hearing those rumors about him working out at first base, and what does that mean for the Cardinals? And there's an option year next year as well that the Cardinals are going to have to figure out for $17 million. But he has been steady here since he signed that big 7-year contract with his club.
Fastball misses inside. 1 ball and 1 strike. That's exactly it. He's been steady.
We think about the big contracts and pitchers, of course, more often than not, by the end of those deals, they don't work out. But when you go big and you can get production through almost all of that contract, you have to be satisfied as an organization.
Line drive caught by Goldschmidt. And nobody covering at second, but that was smoked in quick reaction by Paul Goldschmidt.
Well, we mentioned it in the open. We've talked about it already this game. Paul Goldschmidt brings a great glove to this Arizona Diamondbacks team. And you look how the shift is on. There's only one guy on the right side of the infield. And in a traditional infield setting, that is a base hit. It's a good approach by Matt Holliday. He gets a pitch away. He tries to drive it away. He squares it up, hits it hard. But there's Paul Goldschmidt making a great play.
Now 2 outs, and it's up to Stephen Piscotty, the young cleanup hitter for these Cardinals. First pitch is in the dirt for ball 1. Piscotty's numbers with 2 outs and runners in scoring position, stupid. 13 for 24, 542 batting average.
That's not a phrase that he has been called very often. The Stanford guy.
Time now for the 4 keys to the game. What are we looking for here, CJ?
Well, keeping an eye on the Arizona Diamondbacks and using the hit tool. They lead all of Major League Baseball in hits this year. And how about the St. Louis Cardinals, especially with a contact pitcher like Mike Leake? The D is the key. The defense. They are leading Major League Baseball in errors this year, which is such an un-Cardinal-like thing. So the defense, if this game is close, is going to be important.
Fastball catches the outside corner on 2-0. 2 balls and 1 strike here to Piscotty.
I mean, the first time Stephen Piscotty is called stupid, it's by you on national television.
I didn't say he was stupid. I said the numbers were stupid. Anybody who goes to Stanford, by definition, cannot be stupid. Fouls it back. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
And an interesting conversation that we had with Mike Matheny before the game, talking about Piscotty was obviously, yes, he's book smart, but he was raving about his baseball IQ. And I've heard a lot of executives tell me, and I've had this conversation many times, this flow of players that is coming in to professional baseball now, they come out of the showcase scene and they have tools, but they don't necessarily have the greatest baseball IQ. That is not the case here with Stephen Piscotty.
2-2, misses low and outside. Now 3 balls and 2 strikes. That one was humped up to 97 from Robbie Ray.
And that's velocity that we're not used to seeing from him. But you mentioned it and wondering, could this be a guy that ends up in the bullpen? Certainly you want to go through development as long as you can and see if he can stick as a starter. But when you see a number like that for a pitcher who throws predominantly fastballs, can't help but wonder if that might be the better spot for him.
Issues his first walk, a 2-out walk to Piscotty, first and second, 2 outs. And now Yadier Molina. You think the fans here in St. Louis like Yadier Molina? A great ovation when he comes to the plate. And we showed the GM for the Cardinals before. The decisions that they have made. You know, we mentioned the contract for Matt Holliday. And here he is in the last year of his contract, and it's paid off. When they gave Yadi that contract, I think people around the country knew what kind of defensive player he was, but to pay him that much with his offensive numbers, I mean, now that contract is a steal.
Absolutely. 5 years, $75 million, and does not sound like a lot of money in today's Major League Baseball, especially when you have a star like Yadier Molina, who affects this team in so many different ways, right? It's the bat that has been pretty good, actually came along later in his career, but it's the excellent defense. It's the leadership on the field. Mike Matheny has told us in years past where he'll go to Yadi sometimes and ask him about some things that he's seeing, and sometimes that will affect decisions that the manager is making. That is how much Yadier Molina means to this club.
Well, we saw Piscotty's numbers with 2 outs and runners in scoring position. Molina's numbers are right there with him. Not as big of a sample size, but now it's 3 balls and no strikes to Molina. Randall Grichuk on deck. In the numbers, right? Piscotty, good numbers. Molina, good numbers. Grichuk has struggled. You don't think that Robbie Ray is trying to pitch around these 2 guys, but maybe it pays off. 3-0, taken all the way, 94 right down the middle.
Well, first inning, you're certainly not thinking about pitching around guys, but like I said, when you're watching Robbie Ray, it becomes about the fastball command. We've seen him struggle with that a little bit so far today, but a lot of guys struggle early on. First inning, if you can get out of this, an opportunity to reset, maybe catch a groove.
Missing outside, back-to-back walks from Ray. Loads the bases here in the first for Grichuk. Robbie Ray, more balls than strikes here in the first inning. His catcher Castillo goes out to speak with him. And he's going to get a visit here by the pitching coach, Mike Butcher.
Well, this is a team in the St. Louis Cardinals that lead the National League in runs scored. They're second in all of Major League Baseball, and so they know how to make it happen. Obviously, they know how to put runs on the board, and this is not necessarily a favorable matchup, although Randall Grichuk has struggled against lefties. He is a good fastball hitter, some of the best exit velocity on this team. He could square it up as good as anybody in the lineup, despite the fact that his year has not gone that well. But for Robbie Ray, he's in this position right now. He's a pitch away, 1 batter away, 1 out away from getting out of this inning, and like I said, looking for that opportunity to maybe reset. The big inning has been an issue for him this year.
Carpenter at third, Piscotty at second, Molina at first, and Grichuk at the plate. 218, 5 home runs, 19 RBIs. A chance here in the first with 2 outs. And the first pitch took something off of that, gets it in there for a strike. The 0-1 from Ray. Again goes the breaking ball, and it's no balls and 2 strikes here to Grichuk.
Well, this has been a smart approach right now as Robbie Ray has struggled with the fastball command. Come back and go ahead and start Randall Grichuk, the good fastball hitter, off with 2 sliders. You got yourself in this 0-2 count. Now you have to be careful that the concentration level does not come down, and he's still able to execute and finish this at bat.
Pulled foul. Wants that slider again. Stays no balls and 2 strikes to Grichuk. Another 0-2. Fastball blown by him. So the Cardinals leave the bases loaded here in the first. We're through one in St. Louis, no score. Top of the second here in St. Louis, no score. D-backs and Cardinals. Ricky Weeks will lead things off here against Mike Leake. Ricky Weeks, of course, was a big-time prospect with the Milwaukee Brewers. Was a second baseman for them, hitting .243, no home runs, 4 RBIs. On the season, 9 for 37. 0-1. Down low, 1 ball and 1 strike. Weeks has always possessed great power. And what's funny is how the game of baseball works, but here is Weeks playing in Arizona for the D-backs. 1-1 off outside, and it's 2 balls and a strike. He was the second baseman for the Brewers. Gene Segura was the shortstop for the Brewers. That was the middle infield.
Yep.
Now all of a sudden, Weeks is playing left field here for Arizona, and Segura is playing second base for the D-backs. 2 balls and 2 strikes here to Weeks.
It's funny how this game works. And you think about, okay, Weeks is a bench player. Why would he be in there righty on righty? But the Arizona Diamondbacks are not going to be slaves to the traditional platoons. They dig in a little bit further. And we mentioned where Mike Leake is when it comes to righties versus lefties. And that's why Weeks is in there today.
And Mike Leake, a very good athlete. You can see his movements just around the mound right there, bouncing off to make that play very easily.
And also ironic, too, Mike Leake very badly wanted to sign with the Arizona Diamondbacks this offseason. They were unable to make it work. Obviously, the Diamondbacks had bigger plans in getting Zach Greinke and bringing in Shelby Miller, and the rotation looked complete. He's an Arizona State guy. He wanted to come home. Personally called the Arizona Diamondbacks front office, tried to get something worked out, but just was not a fit. And here he is now getting an opportunity to pitch against a team that he really wanted to play for in 2016.
No balls and 1 strike to Castillo. Pulls it down the line, and that is a foul ball, 0-2. Wellington Castillo has put up good numbers behind the plate for the D-backs this year. Castillo, .290, 7 home runs, 20 RBIs. He's put up good numbers. The man he shares that position with, Chris Herman, has put up good numbers. Their ranks among MLB is among the top in almost every category. Stays no balls and 2 strikes. But C.J., going back to your point about Mike Leake, the interest was mutual, the D-backs and Leake. And all of a sudden, I mean, they were looking at negotiations, and then all of a sudden ownership said, we want Zach Greinke, as this one comes up and in and hits Castillo. So a hit by pitch here. And once they decided to go all in on Greinke, that left the door open for the Cardinals to come after Leake, because, as you mentioned before, Lance Lynn went down. There was a vacancy, and they got that deal worked out quickly.
It happened very fast with Zach Greinke and kind of came out of nowhere. It looked like he was getting close with either the San Francisco Giants most likely or the Los Angeles Dodgers. But here came the Arizona Diamondbacks, who have just started a monster television contract. And so there has been some dollars there for them to work with, and they will have those dollars for the next 20 years. And so that gave them the opportunity to land one of the best in the game. And that's pretty hard to bypass. The other thing for me, too, think about Mike Leake in Arizona, which is a good hitter's ballpark. We talk about Colorado all the time. Arizona's not that much further behind when you think about elevation, the way the ball flies out of there. Contact pitchers maybe are not ideal, and Mike Leake is a contact pitcher.
No balls, 1 strike here to Chris Owings after the hit by pitch to Castillo. Ground ball back to Leake, goes to second for 1 over the first, dug out by Adams, and that is a 1-4-3 inning-ending double play. No score here in St. Louis. MLB is back on Fox with the return of Baseball Night in America, featuring some of the best teams and rivalries in baseball, headlined by the Cubs and the Giants tonight. 7 p.m. Eastern on Fox, so you can watch live on Fox Sports Go. Matt Adams leading off here in the second. The lefty versus the lefty. Robbie Ray takes the fastball low and outside for ball 1. The shift is on here for Adams. Up high, 2 balls and no strikes. You look at Matt Adams, his numbers 280, 3 home runs, 16 RBIs. The shift is on. He's a big guy. You don't think he's going to try to bunt for a base hit. He's done it sometimes. Doesn't bunt this time and pulls it foul.
And a perfect example of why they shift on him, as you see, he is a dead pull hitter. The bunt becomes so interesting for a guy like Matt Adams, because you look at him, like you said, he's a big guy. We know he can drive the ball out of the ballpark, even if he bunts for a base hit. If I'm the Arizona Diamondbacks, I look at that as a victory, because the odds of him hitting a home run go down to 0.
Ground ball and an error. Jake Lamb, who moved over from third base, he tried to cut in front of Gene Segura, and he commits the error, allowing Adams to reach base.
Well, a lot of times what you do is you see the third baseman now going to his left. That's a play obviously he does not have to make ever at third. And you say, well, why wasn't Nick Ahmed there? Don't they shift everybody over? No, because you leave Nick Ahmed on the left side of the infield by himself because he has the most range. This is one of the downsides to the shift. And even though guys practice this, they find themselves in angles and fielding balls in a way that they never have before. And sometimes that game adrenaline takes over and you overplay the ball. And I think that's what we saw with Lamb.
Up high for ball 1 to Jet Jerko, 212, 4 home runs, 10 RBIs. What's interesting about the D-backs with the option with Segura there at second, you could play him closer there because he was a shortstop.
It's a good point. I guess you actually, you know, when you think about it, you figure out who's most comfortable in what position. Certainly Gene Segura has the most experience at shortstop. In the case of Jake Lamb, would you rather him play what would kind of be a traditional second base? At that point, you could go in that direction. Obviously, very easy for us to say after we see that play kind of develop a little bit and develop awkwardly. But it's a tough call, and everyone tries to figure out which pieces are best. And unfortunately, there for the Diamondbacks, that one didn't work out.
Jerko gets into one to left field. Weeks turns, looks up, gone. Fifth home run of the year for Jerko. A 2-run shot, and the error comes back to hurt the D-backs.
How about Jet Jerko coming into this game hitting just 212, 4 home runs, a part-time player. When he got over here, it looked like he was going to become kind of their super utility man, and here he is in a big situation, batting in the 8th spot in front of the pitcher, one of the toughest spots to bat in all of baseball, delivering big here in the second inning.
So now Mike Leake steps in, and he takes the first pitch for a strike from Robbie Ray. Fastball swung and a miss. No, 0-2. And that is strikeout number 2 for Robbie Ray. Well, the inning began with what looked like a routine ground ball from Adams, and there was the third baseman Jake Lamb playing over by second, commits the error, and Jet Jerko drives that error in. A 2-run shot.
The fastball that just cut back a little bit. It is a strike, yes, but as I mentioned in the very beginning of this game, what you're watching is the fastball command not only in the zone, not only outside the zone, but in it. And that was a badly missed spot there by Robbie Ray.
He starts off Matt Carpenter with a breaking ball for strike 1. Carpenter singled his first time up. Was stranded at third base on the strikeout by Randall Grichuk to end the inning. Another slider, another strike, 0-2. So far, what we've seen from Robbie Ray in the first inning and a third is he has had great command with that slider, and now with 2 strikes on Carpenter, the D-backs will go back to the shift, and again, it's Jake Lamb going over to the second base side of second base. Out in front, pulled foul. Still 0-2 to Carpenter.
And 0-2 has been a problem for Robbie Ray, and it's been a problem in this game as well, where we're seeing him throw 2 good of pitches in that count. It's the second time I've noticed he's been in an 0-2 count, and that pitch, and even though it was a cutter, Matt Carpenter fouled it off, or slider, and there was no damage done. That ball has got to be off the plate. If you're going to throw anything sliding away, moving away, lefty on lefty, it's got to be away off the plate.
Fastball is fouled straight back. Stays 0-2. Another 0-2. Spoiled foul.
That's 3 strikes. I think all 3 of those pitches after 0-2 would have been called strikes. They seem to be in the zone. And right now, if I'm Wellington Castillo, I'm trying to get him off the plate. I'm setting up off the plate. No strikes have been an issue, but you're ahead 0-2, lefty on lefty. Go ahead and sit out off the plate. Make him throw it there.
Rolled over, foul. Jed Jerko with a 2-run shot here in the inning to give the Cardinals the 2-0 lead. Still no balls and 2 strikes here to Carpenter. Bounce foul again. And Carpenter walking around gingerly after that swing.
Was putting together a really tough at bat. You see the total pitches at 7. Now they've been fouled, so obviously they're considered strikes, but I think all of them have been in the strike zone. Sweep one away here, throw one either below the zone, down and away, or up, but out of the strike zone, and see if you can get a chase from Matt Carpenter.
In the zone again, swung on to Goldschmidt, and he makes the play himself. Out number 2 here in the second. And follow live baseball with the MLB.com at-bat app. Stay up to the moment at any moment with Game Day, live game video highlights, StatCast news, and more. Download MLB.com at-bat, the #1 app for live baseball on your phone and tablet. 2 away for Aledmys Diaz. One thing I love about coming to this ballpark, you know you're in St. Louis. Obviously, you see the arch out beyond center field, but all the red. Everywhere you look, it's red.
Tremendous support here they get from their fan base in St. Louis, not only in the ballpark, but also from a television standpoint. They're one of the strongest markets locally. They love their Cardinals here in St. Louis.
Radio, KMOX, Mike Shannon. Outside. 2 balls and a strike to Diaz. Even last night, getting in an Uber to go to dinner. What's on the radio? The Cardinals. Bounce foul, 2-2. Aledmys Diaz came in hitting .373. A 2-2 just missing. Now 3 balls and 2 strikes. 52 pitches already for Robbie Ray. The payoff pitch. Popped up down the first base side. Out of play, 3-2. How about the start for Diaz? I mean, this guy wasn't supposed to be on the team. And all he's done is rake.
But we mentioned the situation at shortstop, and they bring in Tejada, and then a spot opens up. He gets hurt, and Diaz has done an excellent job filling in.
Lamb makes the play to end the inning. But the Cardinals get 2 runs on a 2-run shot by Jerko. Jerko had the 2-run home run in the bottom half of the inning, has given the Cardinals a 2-0 lead as we go to the top of the 3rd. 8-9-1 in the order for the D-backs. Nick Ahmed, Robbie Ray, and Gene Segura to face Mike Leake. And the first pitch is in there for a strike to Ahmed, who has struggled at the plate. 188, 3 home runs, 15 RBIs. But this is a guy who is a wizard at the shortstop position. And I realize I'm in St. Louis.
Careful. You might not get an Uber home next time. That's the guy. Don't pick him up.
Speaking of picking up, how about the home run by Jerko in the second?
Oh, we mentioned Robbie Ray and command. Watch Wellington Castillo's glove here. See the first 2 pitches, 1 and 2 out of the zone, but look where number 3 ends up. Castillo is splitting the play because they know they need a strike 2-0, but look where his glove finishes, in and maybe even a little bit off the plate. It's a great job by Jerko getting to that pitch, keeping his hands in and still getting the barrel onto it. Good at bat, and unfortunately for Robbie Ray, as we mentioned, just poor execution in that 2-0 count.
Outside, ball 1, 1 ball and 1 strike to Robbie Ray. 2 for 15 on the season. What was it like as a pitcher facing a pitcher?
You have to be careful. You need to know which guys can swing it, right? You have these pitchers meetings before every game, and you go through the lineup, and here's how you want to face each guy. Then you get to the pitcher, and it's usually one of two things. Go right at him, he stinks, or be careful with this guy, he can swing it a little bit.
Well, Robbie Ray just struck out. That's the first strikeout of the day for Mike Leake. And the second out here in the third. Who was the one pitcher where you were like, oh, gosh, this guy definitely to be careful with?
Well, when I played, Mike Hampton was one of the best. Carlos Zambrano certainly could swing it. There were some guys. Russ Ortiz was a really good hitting pitcher, so you had to be careful with a lot of those guys. Mike Leake actually has gotten off to a slow start, but he's a great hitter. We've seen some good ones. Zach Greinke is fantastic. And we've seen some guys, as much as that conversation has come up about universal DH, there are a good amount of pitchers that would be upset about that because there are some guys that can swing it.
1 ball, no strikes to Segura. He swung at the first pitch of the game and flew out to right field. It's 1 ball and 1 strike to him, but what in addition he has been here for the D-backs, almost like a godsend with Paul Goldschmidt struggling the way he struggled. This guy has put up big time numbers.
And you think about A.J. Pollock going down, and a guy that usually hits near the top of the order, and when they lose him, what that meant to this team. Well, Gene Segura comes in and has been hitting leadoff and has done an outstanding job and recaptured where he was a couple of years ago with the Milwaukee Brewers, and he's done it all while he's made a position change, which is not always something we see happen.
Jerko backs up to take the clean hop and retires Segura. 1-2-3 inning for Leake. We're through 2.5. It's 2-0 St. Louis. Matt Holliday leading off here in the bottom half of the third. Takes the first pitch fastball outside from Robbie Ray. Holliday lined out to first his first time up. 2-0 Cardinals leading the D-backs. As this pitch is inside with a slider. 2-0. Last night 11-7 Arizona won the opener. And this is what's amazing to me. The Diamondbacks are looking for their first series win here in St. Louis in the new Busch Stadium. Holliday, 1 hop sharper to Ahmed, and he makes it look easy. What did I tell you, right?
It's a good glove. It's a great glove, and we're in this situation right now. I think in Major League Baseball where we're experiencing a little bit of a renaissance. You and I talked about this last week on our game. The great shortstops. Now a lot of them are doing it on both sides of the ball. Nick Ahmed right now is kind of a glove-only guy. He's struggling offensively and trying to get it going, but it has been a lot of fun to watch all these great shortstops around Major League Baseball. At least from a glove standpoint, Nick Ahmed may be the best of the group defensively. Now you have your much better overall players, guys like Xander Bogaerts and Francisco Lindor, Carlos Correa, some really, really good ones on both sides of the ball. But Nick Ahmed can field it with the best of them.
1 ball, no strikes to Stephen Piscotty. It's 2 balls and no strikes, but Nick Ahmed, you talk to virtually anybody who gets to watch him on a daily basis, and they just say he is unbelievable. Outside, 3 balls and no strikes. His AAA manager was Phil Nevin, and I texted Phil Nevin today just saying, how good is Ahmed at short? He wrote back, best I've ever seen.
You think about when Phil Nevin played, he and I played against each other, with each other. He actually got his first big league hit off of me, but he's talking about seeing
Omar Vizquel,
Barry Larkin, Alex Rodriguez, Derek. I mean, throw all the names we went through, Miguel Tejada, all these great shortstops that we saw, and he's saying that's the best he's ever laid eyes on. Those are big words.
He said, I didn't see Omar Vizquel every day, but what I can tell you is this kid has a better arm than Vizquel does, and everyone says the way he can pick it and moves is amazing. A 1-out walk to Stephen Piscotty, and Yadier Molina comes up. He walked his first time up.
Well, you think about that, the defense that he brings to the table, and so when you bring a guy like Gene Segura in, you're going to ask him to make a position change. They let him play some shortstop in spring training, but ultimately he ends up at second base. And probably the easiest part for Chip Hale, the manager here in Arizona, was that it was a non-issue. He was on board, whatever I have to do for the team. And when a guy genuinely says that, it makes your job much, much easier as a manager. Some guys will say it, and you can kind of see it in their eyes that they don't mean it, that they really wish they were playing a certain position. That is not the case for Gene Segura. He is a team guy first, and right now a very solid up the middle here for the Arizona Diamondbacks.
No balls, 1 strike to Molina. In the dirt, 1-1.
And the other part of that conversation also includes Chris Owens.
Yep.
It was another one of their middle infielders. Well, when center field opened up with Pollock going down, they put him in center field where he had never been in his entire life. And he's a good enough athlete where he goes out there and he gets it done, and they're comfortable enough knowing they can put him in center. And if they need to give Nick Ahmed a day, they can put Owens in second if they want, Segura at short, whatever it is. They have a lot of moving pieces, and the key to that is they're all good defensively and they're all on board with the movement.
And don't forget, they dealt Didi Gregorius, who's also a very good defensive shortstop. They actually got Robbie Ray in the trade for Gregorius. So they have a wealth of good defensive shortstops in this system. 1-1, fouled back, 1 ball and 2 strikes. And what's also interesting is you talk about Segura moving from shortstop to second. Look at Starlin Castro. I mean, all these bright young shortstops. Segura was once a bright young shortstop. Starlin Castro was. And now these two are excelling at second base.
Sometimes you have to find another position in the sense of, in the case of Starlin Castro, it was all about Addison Russell taking over at short. And
Molina goes down looking on a breaking ball from Robbie Ray, and that's the 3rd strikeout of the game for Ray.
If Castro wanted to keep playing and contributing to the Cubs, he was going to have to go to second base, and he excelled in that position, so much so that he built up his trade value a little bit more. And the Yankees jumped on him, and he's done a really nice job for the Yankees at second base.
2 away now for Randall Grichuk, who struck out with the bases loaded in the 1st.
There's nothing more that Cardinals fans love during a broadcast that you talk about the Cubs. They just more Cubs talk, please.
Well, in that case, the Cubs are 29-11 to open up the year. Fastball is outside to Grichuk for ball 1. A shift against the right-hander Grichuk. Now 3 players on the left side of the infield.
Look at how open the right side of the field is right now. It's a little bit different when you have it going the other way because you don't have to hold a runner at third base. But with Paul Goldschmidt holding Piscotty right now, that just creates a monster hole to the right side. And it is easier said than done because we hear it all the time. Just hit a ground ball to the right side. It's not that easy. That's not who Randall Grichuk is. He's a pull power hitter, and you don't want him to get away from his game plan necessarily. But if you get something running away from this left-handed pitcher, yes, you'd like to see him hit a ground ball to the right side.
2-0. Foul tipped into the mitt of Castillo.
And that tells you the story.
He can,
of Randall Grichuk. He's done
can.
it. But what it doesn't tell you, there's 4 over there. Were they bleeders? Did he get jammed? Those were the little pop-ups like we saw earlier from Matt Carpenter and Paul Goldschmidt. But that's where the power is, and that's where the swing is, left and center.
Fouled back, 2 balls and 2 strikes.
And you know, because I said that, he will hit a ball into the bullpen right now in right field. After I called his 4 hits to right bleeders, having not seen them, completely guessing.
Bounce foul, stays 2-2. Bottom half of the 3rd inning here, 2-0. Cardinals lead the D-backs. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Randall Grichuk. Stephen Piscotty on at first after the 1-out walk. A 2-2. Pulled and a base hit. Goes over the shift. Stopping at second is Piscotty. First and second, 2 outs now for Matt Adams.
We mentioned it, the power. This ball was squared up. We could hear from here how well Randall Grichuk, as he goes down and gets this ball, but how well he hit it. But watch the pitch. This is a changeup on a 2-2 count. Robbie Ray has been pulling that pitch. Look where it finishes. Over the middle of the plate. You see Castillo go down almost like he's going to have to block that ball in the dirt. They want that ball on the outer third of the plate and running away. But Robbie Ray, as we've seen him today, does not have that natural run on that changeup. That ball has cut back over the plate and has gotten him into a little bit of trouble today.
Well, now with runners on first and second and 2 outs for Matt Adams, not the normal shift we saw earlier. And the first pitch misses inside to Adams for ball 1. Reached on the error by Jake Lamb, playing over by second base his first time up, and then came around to score on the 2-run shot by Jerko. One and one.
Now here we are in the third inning. I mean, look at that pitch count at 74. It's just in a difficult situation here for the Arizona Diamondbacks as they try to manage Robbie Ray, trying to get him through at least 5 innings. That's going to be a challenge today. There's only 2 runs in, but you heard the grunt on the last pitch. Everything is max effort right now.
Max effort, foul tipped by Adams into Castillo's mitt. 1-2 at 96.
We look at the bullpen right here, and this has been an issue for the Arizona Diamondbacks, getting length out of their starting pitchers, which of course puts more pressure on your bullpen, makes it much more difficult to manage your bullpen if you're Chip Hale.
And the way that this team was constructed, they wouldn't think they would have to use their bullpen as much, because you've got Greinke, Miller as your top 2 guys, Corbin as your third. De La Rosa has really pitched the best of anyone so far. So that right there, your first 4 guys, you're thinking, I'm going to get some innings out of them.
Absolutely, and it has not worked out that way. I think especially Greinke, obviously, and Shelby Miller, big disappointments early on.
Goldschmidt underhand toss to Ray, who gets there in time to beat Adams. No runs on a hit, 2 men left on. It's 2-0 St. Louis. Well, the Arizona Diamondbacks were the fastest expansion team to ever win the World Series. The first pitch to Brandon Drury in their first strike. Their first year was 1998. Took them 3 seasons when they won that incredible World Series against the Yankees in 2001. Luis Gonzalez off of Mariano Rivera. Now, it also helps when you've got a 1-2 punch of Randy Johnson and Curt Schilling.
Doesn't hurt. It's a pretty good 1-2. It's a good way to get through the postseason. Those guys were excellent that year. What a moment for Arizona. What a great moment for baseball, too, to see an expansion team get that World Series as fast as they did. I remember clear as day sitting there watching that, watching the infield in, and I kept saying, I'm sure my wife cared, but I kept saying, play him halfway, not all the way in, halfway. And sure enough, the bleeder is what got them. You know, Mariano gets so much weak contact, right?
Hey, that's what Tim McCarver said it on the broadcast. You know, he said the infield's in, but with Mariano Rivera pitching, it could be a little flare that gets him, and he was quite prophetic. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Well hit by Drury to left field, and Holiday able to race back, reach up, and snag that one. Well, tonight the world's best drivers compete in a winner-take-all fight for $1 million in the NASCAR Sprint Cup All-Star Race beginning at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, only on FS1, or watch it on Fox Sports Go. Good news, that'll take place in Charlotte. The weather has cleared up in Charlotte. Beautiful day in North Carolina. Beautiful night for a race. 1 away now for Paul Goldschmidt. And Goldschmidt takes the pitch low and outside. Now, going back to the D-backs winning that World Series, it helps with free agency to have a lot of veterans on that team. Breaking ball spins in. 1-1. I mean, trades, free agency. No, it's not a line from Wedding Crashers.
But also having an owner that's on board and wanting to make an impression early on with that organization. We saw the same thing with the Florida Marlins. It was a lot of ups and a lot of downs, but they were willing to go all in at times, and certainly that helps, and that gets I think your organization, your franchise, kicked off in the right direction when you get an ownership group that is willing to stretch themselves a little bit to bring big-time players in.
Breaking ball missed low and outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. We mentioned Tim McCarver. He does television work here in St. Louis for the St. Louis Cardinals. The manager of that D-backs team was Bob Brenly. He does television work for the D-backs. Low and outside to Goldschmidt, and now it's 3 balls and 2 strikes. But as far as this year is concerned for these D-backs, we mentioned the high expectations at the top of the broadcast. Payoff pitch. Goldschmidt in the air to right. He's got a lot of power out that way. Piscotty at the wall makes the catch.
Well, Justin, we talked about it in the open. Stephen Piscotty is doing an excellent job of helping these Cardinals fans get over Jason Hayward, signing with the Chicago Cubs as you see himself here trying to find the wall. Does an excellent job of making that catch. It looked like it might have been a home run off the bat, battling the sun as well. Wasn't going to be a home run, but certainly extra bases. Nice play by Stephen Piscotty.
2 away now for Jake Lamb. Leake gets rid of that ball. They'll get a new one in play. And Stephen Piscotty had played left field, now playing right field. In college, came up as a third baseman. Breaking ball spins in to Lamb for a strike. But this kid, as we talked with Mike Matheny about him, he's so impressed by him. And that's what the Cardinals seem to do. They get these guys. You know, you let a Hayward go, and you've got Piscotty. You let an Albert Pujols go, and you sign instead, you give Yadier Molina a big deal. You give Adam Wainwright a big deal. It just seems like this franchise, from top to bottom, is so smart. The way they draft, player development, everything. They're able to bring guys up and supplement those homegrown players with a couple of free agents that fit into the organizational philosophy. Check swing. Whoa.
One of the things that sticks out to me as I watch this organization is that they don't react on emotion. And I think there's probably no bigger example of that than Albert Pujols when he left here, right? This was their guy. But they had their limits. They had their limits on where they were willing to go. And so they let him go to the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. They get some draft picks in return that worked out really well for this team, Michael Wacha being one of them. But they don't overextend themselves. They don't get caught up in emotion.
A 1-2-3 inning for Leake. Got some defensive help. We go to the bottom half of the fourth. 2-0 Cards. Bottom of the fourth inning. Cardinals leading 2-0 because of Jed Jerko's 2-run homer, and he leads off here in the fourth and takes the first pitch fastball from Ray for a strike. It was the 5th home run of the year for Jerko. RBIs numbers 11 and 12. Fouls it back. 0-2. Scott's MLB Pitch Hit and Run is the official youth skills competition of Major League Baseball. It's free for boys and girls ages 7 to 14. Play your way to the national finals and have the chance to compete during All-Star Week in San Diego. Find a local competition in your area at pitchhitrun.com. All right, CJ, is your youngest son going to enter?
No, I don't think so. I don't know where they have that. We have never looked into that locally for us in Atlanta. He'd love to do it for sure, but no.
Jerko strikes out to open the inning. Time for a game break, our first of the day. Let's go to L.A. and check in with Kevin Burkhardt.
Well, Justin, the Indians got the Red Sox last night, but Boston striking first here. Hanley Ramirez jammed, but that'll work. It gets into the outfield of Trevor Bauer. It'll score 2. Hanley's 2 for 2, and the Red Sox up on the Indians 3-0. Justin, C.J., back to you.
All right, Kevin, thank you. We talk about position changes with Segura, Starlin Castro as Mike Leake. First pitch swinging 0-1. How about Hanley Ramirez? His position change. He went from shortstop to third base to shortstop to left field. Left field did not work out last year. Came back this year as a first baseman, and his offense has picked up.
Well, maybe that third time is a charm for Hanley Ramirez with the position change. Not only is he holding that position down, but he's doing it very well, better than expected. And that was a big storyline for the Boston Red Sox coming into the season, was whether or not Hanley Ramirez was going to be a negative at first base, and he is not. He's probably been a little bit better than neutral, which is about all you can really ask for a guy. The thing that has stuck out, the thing that people are talking about, he has been more engaged now that he's back in the infield, and he's one of those guys that just needs to be, and the offensive production has been there as well.
Back-to-back strikeouts for Robbie Ray to open up the fourth, and he's got 5 strikeouts on the afternoon. And now Matt Carpenter will walk to the plate. What's incredible is we see the pitch count at 84 for Robbie Ray, but just 2 runs to show for it for the Cardinals.
He's pitched himself in and out of trouble. He's done a nice job. We saw, of course, the bases loaded in the first inning. making pitches when he has to, but it's been a struggle. But you see the velocity. That is what is probably more impressive. Yes, it's only the 4th inning, but it's 85 pitches. That means you're working. That means there's stress. That last fastball, 96 miles an hour.
Off-speed pitch, ground ball to Goldschmidt. And for the first time today, Robbie Ray has a 1-2-3 inning. We're through 4, and it's 2-0 St. Louis. Top of the 5th here at Busch Stadium. Mike Leake, his first 6 starts in the Cardinals uniform were not good. His last 2.5 now have been much, much better. And he faces Ricky Weeks leading off in the 5th. And he starts him off with a strike for 0-1.
Has been filling up the strike zone. That has been one of the issues. As Mike Matheny mentioned it, we talked to him before the game. We see Mike Leake just looking like the old Mike Leake and getting comfortable now here in St. Louis. It happens. It's a consistent story. It's frustrating sometimes for fans, but you sign the big deal. You go to a new ballpark. You go to a new organization, new coaches, new teammates across the board. There is an adjustment period for some guys. Certainly has happened for the Arizona Diamondbacks and Zach Greinke. People don't necessarily like hearing that excuse when you give a guy a bunch of money who's had a good track record. But I think it's fair to say right now for Mike Leake, took a little bit of time to get settled in. But like you said, the last 2.5 starts now, including this one, have been very good.
Ground ball back up the middle. Behind the bag is Diaz, and he makes the play. His defense has been questioned. 10 errors on the season, but he just looked fantastic making that play.
Well, this is a great play, and it's not an easy one either. As you see him catch it in between hop, nothing he can do. And a great job on that throw. There's not going to be a lot behind that throw, but you have to get rid of it quickly. And the accuracy from that angle is certainly not a given. Great play by Diaz.
1 away now for Wellington Castillo. You know, Diaz was a guy who signed a 4-year, $8 million contract out of Cuba. He was actually pulled off the 40-man roster. And so anybody could have picked him up. He goes to the Arizona Fall League, has a great time out there. Castillo chases that pitch, and it's 0-2. Has a good spring, and all of a sudden he gets called up because, well, we mentioned it. Johnny Peralta gets hurt. He comes in, and he has just been lights out.
Well, you mentioned the defense. We saw a great play there. That's probably the one thing that they still want to see come a little bit more consistently, because there's a lot of questions right now in St. Louis as far as what is going to happen when Johnny Peralta gets back. And Johnny Peralta has just started a rehab assignment. And when he gets back, will he be the shortstop? Will Diaz move to second? Would somebody go to third? There's a lot of options here.
This one is misplayed by Piscotty. Gets by him all the way to the wall. Castillo is going to stop at second base. A 1-out double for Wellington Castillo, his 7th double of the year. Piscotty tried cutting it off, and that ball got down and scooted past him.
We saw a bad read here by Stephen Piscotty. We talked about the great play that he made at the wall earlier, but watch this angle that he takes. Coming in too early, realizing that ball was hit harder than he originally thought. You want to get around that ball, take a better angle in that situation. He knows it. He misread it. The ball was hit hard. Took a big hop once it got past him.
Man in scoring position now for Chris Owings, who grounded into a 1-4-3 inning ending double play back in the 2nd. One ball and no strikes. But going back to the whole Peralta thing and Diaz and what happens with this infield, there's a lot of talk, right? Because there are pieces that it's almost like a puzzle right now what you want to do. I mean, do you put Peralta at shortstop and move Diaz to third base? Do you put Diaz at second? He can play either one. Do you move Carpenter from third base to second? Do you put Carpenter at first? What do you, I mean, again, all these different parts, all these different pieces.
Good options to have for Mike Matheny, because these aren't options out of necessity. It's because you have an overflow of middle infielders, and Ruben Tejada is on this bench right now. Colton Wong is on this bench right now. Colton Wong just got a contract, I believe it was 5 years, 25 before the season started. So that was a guy that they locked up because they liked him. It's going to get very interesting once Johnny Peralta gets back as far as what the St. Louis Cardinals are going to do. Yeah, 5 years, 25.5 for Colton Wong, who's not even playing today. And Jed Jerko was kind of bidding that utility guy. So we will see what happens here defensively and what the St. Louis Cardinals believe will be their best lineup. Without a doubt, some platoons are going to be happening. And I'd say it's going to be pretty impossible to keep everybody happy.
3-0 pitch is taken by Owings. 3-1.
Then the question becomes, can you take one of those middle infielders and spin them for another need? You have enough of them. It's a matter of picking the right one that has value. And can you get yourself whatever other piece you may be looking for? Another arm in the bullpen. Everybody could always use one. Probably not a starter unless you go with Colton Wong, who has much more years of control. You might be able to get a starter out of somebody for him, but you wonder if they'll spin one of these pieces before the deadline comes on July 31st and try to get something else to help this team, because there is an absolute overflow of middle infielders right now in St. Louis.
3 balls and 2 strikes. The count to Owings. Castillo on at second, 1 away, top of the 5th. 2-0 Cardinals lead the Diamondbacks. 3-2 in the air, right field. Piscotty going over in foul territory. Will run out of room.
And that's right. I have to be corrected on the deadline. It's been back a day. It's actually
Yes,
August 1st now.
August 1st.
Sorry. Get an
Just
extra
this year.
24 hours, an extra 24 to figure out what you want to do. But you wonder now, there's a lot of time between now and then, certainly. And who knows if somebody else would go down. And certainly these things have a way of working themselves out. But the Cardinals are in a good position with depth in the middle infield.
3-2 called, strike 3. Second strikeout for Leake. It's time to get major league coverage. T-Mobile has doubled its 4G LTE in the last year and now covers over 308 million Americans. 2 away. And Nick Ahmed will step to the plate. A big strikeout right there for Leake. Ahmed back up the middle, falls in for a base hit. Grichuk comes up throwing, and they will hold the runner at third, Castillo. So runners on the corners. 2 outs here for Arizona.
Well, even with 2 outs, you know Wellington Castillo can get a decent jump, but he's a big guy. He's not known for his speed, obviously, as a catcher. Now, you're in a unique situation here in the National League because you know the pitcher's on deck. And so should you take that chance at this moment? The answer to that is probably yes, but it wouldn't even have taken a perfect throw. An average at best throw, and Wellington Castillo was probably going to get thrown out at home. But that's a nice at-bat by Nick Ahmed. You got a runner in scoring position. It's a first pitch slider, first pitch cutter. Don't let it get by up in the zone. He attacks it and gets his base hit.
And Robbie Ray is hitting. Fouls the first pitch back. The pitch count for Ray up there. He did have his best inning in his last inning. 86 pitches, though, for Robbie Ray through 4. And you were wondering, with Zach Curtis warming up in the bullpen, would we see a pinch hitter? Well, the answer is no. Chip Hale does not go with a pinch hitter at this time.
Well, think about the graphic that we saw. We talked about the innings that this Arizona Diamondbacks bullpen has eaten up, tied for the most in Major League Baseball coming into today. Do you want to take your starter out after 4 innings, knowing there's a possibility that you're going to have to throw maybe 5 more or more if you go into extra innings? It's a tough call as you're trying to keep your bullpen strong, trying to think big picture. Is this your best opportunity to score the entire game? There's 2 outs. If there was less than 2 outs, I think maybe I might go for the pinch hitter, but a tough spot for Chip Hale to be in, knowing the usage that his bullpen has gone through this year.
The 1-1 from Leake on the inside corner. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Robbie Ray did pick up an RBI in his last start against the Yankees on May 16th. Would love to get one right here. Timeout called behind home plate. Yadier Molina asked for it. Mike Winters, the crew chief, granted it. I think when Yadi asks, you grant. He's earned that. Ground ball, shortstop. Diaz takes the short option to second base, and that'll do it. They leave 2 men on. We go to the bottom half of the 5th. It's 2-0 St. Louis. Monday, it's an AL West battle as Mike Trout and the Angels square off against Prince Fielder and the Rangers in a game you can only see on FS1. It all starts at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, or you can watch it live on Fox Sports Go. Bottom of the 5th, 2-0. St. Louis Cardinals leading the Arizona Diamondbacks. Robbie Ray out there after he grounded into a fielder's choice with runners on the corners. He will face 2, 3, 4 in the order, but in the second, the only runs of the game, a Jed Jerko 2-run shot to left field into the bullpen of the D-backs. And that's how we got to this point. Robbie Ray has been in and out of trouble. He did work a 1, 2, 3, 4th inning, 86 pitches through 4. Aledmus Diaz 0 for 2, a pop out to short, a ground out to third. And the first pitch fastball's in there for a strike. That average now only at 368. Ground ball, shortstop. Ahmed makes the play easily, 1 away. You know, going back that last half inning with Ahmed as the 8-hole hitter, I was actually thinking, do the Cardinals maybe try to intentionally walk him and force the hand of Chip Hale? Do you pinch hit first and second, 2 outs, or do you let your pitcher hit? And obviously, I think we found out that Chip Hale was going to let his pitcher hit regardless.
He was, and I think the plan there on the other side of that is try to get through Nick Ahmed and then have the pitcher lead off, because you look at a weaker hitter, a guy who is struggling, and one that you believe that you can probably get out, that Mike Lee can get out in that situation. But it doesn't work out that way. They still get to face the pitcher and end the inning that way.
1 ball, no strikes to Holiday. Hit a hard 1-hopper to Ahmed his last time up. The pitch is high outside for ball 2, 2-0.
As much as Robbie Ray has battled today, and we've seen it the entire day, this becomes an interesting time of the order. 3rd time through, right through the middle. It's been a struggle for him. Batting average against 3rd time through has been 362 for him this year in the 8 games that he's pitched. It's just 51 plate appearances that it's happened, but he's got the kind of stuff where maybe you would think that wouldn't play as much into his game as it does for other guys.
Fastball taken for a strike, 2-2 to Holiday.
At least the velocity and the liveliness, the off-speed pitches could be a little bit better. Maybe that helps put him over the top and helps him get those numbers down.
2-2, bounce foul. Stays 2-2 to Holiday. We had seen Zach Curtis up in the bullpen before for Arizona. Now the right-hander Jake Barrett is throwing out there. And by the way, I don't know about you, but I look at these uniforms and I just don't think Arizona Diamondbacks. I don't know what I think, to be honest. Up and in, watch out Holiday. 3-2. 94.
Well, certainly no intention here as far as trying to hit Matt Holliday, but up in the zone and up and in for a strike is probably what they wanted as you see this ball get away from Robbie Ray. 2-2, you're not trying to go 3-2. 2-2, you want to finish the at-bat. But that fastball, like a lot of the pitches we've seen from Robbie Ray today, cut up and away.
3-2, foul back.
Up and in, excuse me.
Like, I see the Cardinals uniforms and I think that's classy. I look at this and I just think, what?
It's like the WBC uniform for the Cayman Islands or something. I think the teal blue is what throws us off. Right? The teal, that's the part that gets me a little bit, that really does not feel very Arizona. Now, they took a big chance with the darker gray, right? That's new. We have never seen that before.
I don't want to see it anymore.
In Major League Baseball. Listen, it's a tough sell because it's so different. I'm with you. I don't love them. Marketing is so big in Major League Baseball. I think that's certainly part of this.
A good at bat by Holiday, works the walk. A 9-pitch at bat for Holiday. Well, the best seats at every ballpark for every game. Visit MLB.com/tickets today. 1 out, runner on first for Stephen Piscotty.
Now, the conversation we also have going back to last inning, allowing Robbie Ray to hit, is how far were you going to let him go in this game? Now, you're not going to take him out after one base runner gets on. You have to predict that probably was going to happen with him going through the middle of the lineup for a third time today. But this game is still close. It's 2-0. Yes, it's only the 5th inning, but Robbie Ray right now is probably on a pretty short leash. He's got righties coming up next story, including here Stephen Piscotty. But if a runner gets in scoring position, I got to think Chip Hale will think about removing him from this game.
Piscotty has walked twice today, and he fouls that first pitch back. 0-1. Mike Butcher on the phone. The Cardinals had the bases loaded in the first, did not get a run. 0-1 misses, 1 ball and 1 strike. The 2-run shot by Jet Jerko in the second after an error by Jake Lamb, playing over by second base against Matt Adams. They had 2 runners on in the third, nothing. A 1-2-3 fourth, and now here's Holiday in the 5th. A 1-out walk and 1 ball and 1 strike to Stephen Piscotty. Ground ball. Lamb. Long throw across, makes the play. And down to second base goes Holiday, 2 away.
And on the 100th pitch for Robbie Ray, he gets the ground out now. If you're thinking double play, this would have been a very difficult turn. Smart play by Jake Lamb, not even thinking about throwing that ball to second base. Go ahead and get the second out of the inning. And as we get to triple digits in pitch count, that conversation happening a lot now, more than ever in Major League Baseball. In 4 of his 8 starts, Robbie Ray has gone at least 100 pitches, including in each of his last 3, now 4 counting this one. His last 2 starts, 111 and 112 pitches thrown.
Yadier Molina 0 for 1, a walk and a strikeout looking. Fastball in the outside corner for strike 1. Now the issue with Ray, you mentioned those pitch counts, 111, 112. The problem is those have come in 5 innings, 6 innings. He's not getting deep. He got into the 7th in his last start. He went 7 innings against the Yankees, but that was really the only time.
His first 3 starts, he went at least 6 innings, but then he had that run of 3 innings, 4 innings, 5 1/3, 4 2/3, a 4 2/3 through 112 pitches. That is high stress. That's a lot of pitches, 9 hits and 3 walks in that game for him. And so the goal ultimately obviously is to become a little bit more conservative with that pitch count, get deeper in games without throwing so many pitches, but we can see it by watching him. The issue that he's working on and trying to get through is that fastball command. We've also seen a lot of foul balls, so the batters have done a good job of fouling off pitches.
Hard hit to Segura at second. He makes it look easy, and that will do it again. So Robbie Ray does get through 5. Gene Segura leads things off in the 6th when we come back. Well, Gene Segura is tied right now with Matt Williams for the most hits through 45 games, through the first 45 games in D-backs history. He could surpass that right here. First pitch is inside for ball 1 from Leake. Matt Williams, of course, now the third base coach once again for these Diamondbacks.
Certainly a home run or triple would make it fun, right? You get to go see Matt Williams as you break his record. Let him know.
Ask, if he hits a home run, does he shake his hand?
Matt Williams probably doesn't. No, he's a team guy first. Matt Williams, of course, the manager of the Washington Nationals the last 2 years, now coaching third base back with the Arizona Diamondbacks. One of my favorites to talk to. I really enjoyed when we had meetings with him. This guy knows the game, loves the game. Certainly a great player. They were talking about it last night on the broadcast. What could have been in 1994.
Ground ball, shortstop. Diaz charges, makes the play, 1 away. Of course, 1994, the strike. That season was cut short. This conversation cut short. Time for a game break. Here's KB.
Justin, I think the Yankees coming to life a little bit. They call up Rob Schneider the other day, gets his first start here today, and he delivers here off Sean Manaea. That is going to bring home a couple Yanks. They're up 4-0 in Oakland, bottom 5. Justin, C.J., back to you.
Thanks, Kevin. Back here in St. Louis. It is 2-0. Cardinals on top of the D-backs. 1 away here in the 6th, and Brandon Drury is at the plate. Drury 0 for 2, lined out to left field his last time up. But back to 1994 with Matt Williams. He was chasing Roger Maris. Ken Griffey Jr., he was chasing Roger Maris. Tony Gwynn was chasing Ted Williams for 400. And then the strike.
It was an unfortunate time in Major League Baseball, and we never like when those things happen. It was actually, I just signed. I was drafted that year, so you imagine being a first-round pick for an organization. Then a month and a half later, Major League Baseball's on strike. It was an unfortunate time, but we were wondering about Matt Williams and the possibility of breaking that record. He had 43 home runs at the time through 112 games. And this always, at least for a while, was one of the greatest things in Major League Baseball, when someone would get close and we'd start looking at the pace and saying, could it be done? Could we see somebody break Roger Maris's single season home run record? Of course, it has been passed a few times since then. But for Matt Williams, I have to believe he always thinks about that and wonders what could have been.
Ground ball to Diaz again. 2 up, 2 down here in the 6th. Next month, some of the biggest names in soccer converge on the U.S. for the 100th anniversary of one of the world's biggest tournaments. Coverage of the Copa America Centenario begins June 3rd across the networks of Fox Sports. It's right around the corner. Looking forward to being part of that coverage on Fox. 2 outs now for Paul Goldschmidt, who was robbed of an extra base hit his last time up by Stephen Piscotty at the wall and right. And the first pitch is outside for ball 1. In 94, you mentioned the numbers for Matt Williams. Griffey Jr., he had 40 home runs, and here's Goldschmidt with another base hit. Back up the middle. A 2-out single for Goldschmidt. He's now 2 for 3 on the afternoon. But you said you were drafted your first year. For me, I was a kid. And how about people forget the Montreal Expos, what they were doing. The New York Yankees, what they were doing. I mean, the Expos, the team they had that year,
Moises Alou and a lot of people believing that killed baseball ultimately in Montreal, and they never fully recovered from that strike.
A ground ball by Lamb to second. That'll do it here in the 6th. 1 man left on through 5 1/2. 2-0 Cardinals. And now greater coverage of baseball sponsored by T-Mobile. Jake Arrieta won last night at San Francisco, 8-0 on the year. He's won his last 19 decisions. Jackie Bradley Jr., 25-game hitting streak, only hitting .409 during that time. And Jose Fernandez, back to being Jose Fernandez.
And that's certainly good to see for Miami Marlins fans, as there's a little bit of a struggle there for him early on in the season, having a hard time going deep in games, but all of those guys just dominating right now. Jake Arrieta is getting into historic territory. He says no discounts for the Cubs, which makes his situation even all the more interesting. He still has another year away before he gets to free agency, but what he is doing has been absolutely fascinating to watch, especially when you consider where he was at the beginning of his career.
Jake Barrett is the new pitcher for the D-backs. The right-hander in to face Randall Grichuk. And the fastball is down low, 1 ball and 1 strike. The numbers on Barrett this year: 16 appearances, a 2.25 ERA, 16 innings already. Good strikeout to walk ratio, 7-1. Like that quick math?
Nice job.
Yeah, thank you. Slider is outside. 2 balls and a strike to Grichuk, who's 1 for 2, a strikeout and a single his last time up.
Maybe the biggest news here for Jake Barrett: last night earned his first major league save. The score was 11-7. He only threw a third of an inning, but when he entered the game, the tying run was on deck. He retired the batter that he faced, and he is now a member of the Major League Save Club. So a nice moment for him. Certainly a game that did not look like it was headed toward a save situation, as that 9th inning started with a score of 11-2, but it got a lot closer than anybody expected. But very cool for Jake Barrett to get his first major league save.
2-2, and Grichuk goes down on that breaking ball by Barrett. 1 away in the 6th.
This kid has got a really good fastball we've seen in the mid-90s, but how about the breaking ball here to a good fastball hitter, Randall Grichuk, way out in front. Good execution, good break for a first out here for Jake Barrett.
That'll bring up Matt Adams with the shift on. Again, it's Jake Lamb going over to the second base side of the bag. And this is something I haven't really seen. The shortstop, Ahmed, now he's backed up, but with Matt Adams at the plate against the shift, he was actually playing in by the grass, anticipating a potential bunt by Adams.
Well, because Matt Adams has done it before, you have to respect it to some degree. Now, you may only do that on the first pitch. It's unlikely that he'll try to bunt with 1 strike and then thinking about maybe potentially obviously getting in that 2-strike count, so he doesn't want to put himself in that situation. A lot of these bigger pull hitters, if they try it, will usually try it early.
Adams into center field. Owings going back. That one is gone. Shift on this.
Well, I mentioned it earlier, when you have heavy shift guys, they're doing you a favor if they're thinking about bunting or square around to bunt, because there is 0 chance they can do exactly what Matt Adams just did, which is drive a pitch out of the ballpark. But maybe even more impressive was the fact that he took that ball the other way to left center, squared it up and hit it hard. A big home run for Matt Adams as the Cardinals now extend their lead by 3 runs.
4th home run of the year for Adams. Jerko chases that slider, but he had some backspin on that ball because that ball just took off.
Absolutely. Owings broke for it as if he had a chance, but he gave up pretty quickly, and he knew that ball had the carry to get over the wall.
Another breaking ball in there for a strike to Jerko. 0-2. Jerko hit that 2-run shot in the second, struck out his last time up, but all 3 runs for the Cardinals today coming on the big fly. The last one from Big City, Matt Adams. Outside, 1-2.
And that home run breaks up a streak of 8 scoreless appearances for Jake Barrett, who had been throwing the ball really well and continues to throw the ball well. Matt Adams put a good at bat. This is his first time in the big leagues. He's a rookie. He's done a nice job for this team. 2nd home run he's allowed this year.
Pop foul behind home plate, just below us. Oh, that fan had a chance. Gotta go the extra mile and make that effort.
I missed it.
Yeah. Well, that's because you never stand up for foul balls anymore. Another 1-2. Sliders low and outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. The 2-2 from Barrett. He got Jerko chasing that. And that's the 2nd strikeout for Barrett. Justin Kutcher, C.J. Nitkowski here at Busch Stadium in St. Louis. A good crowd on hand for the Diamondbacks and the Cardinals. 76 degrees here in the Midwest. A fantastic day for baseball. Well, the story of this game, the home run ball. Jed Jerko and now Matt Adams. 3 runs against Arizona. Mike Leake has gone 6 shutout innings. 2 away, and here is Leake. And he fouls the first one back. Matt Adams just goes down and gets it.
So many left-handed hitters like the ball down. A lot of times it's down and in. That pitch down over the plate. Matt Adams put a great swing on that pitch.
1 ball, 1 strike to Leake. Adams still walking up and down in that dugout.
As much as we talk about the St. Louis Cardinals and their player development, how well they do with players in their own organization and then becoming productive big leaguers, Matt Adams is a very interesting story. This guy was a 23rd round pick. This is not one of their high picks that they developed well that their scouts saw. I mean, 23rd round, you're not expecting a guy necessarily to get to the big leagues coming out of Slippery Rock University of Pennsylvania. He's done a great job getting to the big league level.
Leak in the air to left. Weeks can make the catch. It's over his head. And Mike Leake, the pitcher, will have a 2-out double here in the 6th. Ricky Weeks, who his basically entire career has been a second baseman. Going back on this.
Just ends up missing it. We talk about this all the time. The hardest ball to field as an outfielder is the line drive that is right at you. Ricky Weeks obviously does not have the experience of getting a lot of those. And even though it was the pitcher, Mike Leake stung that ball. We talked about it. This guy is a good hitter. He's not having his greatest year offensively, but he put a great swing on that ball and hit it hard, and it completely fooled Ricky Weeks.
Adam Wainwright and some of the pitchers having some fun with Mike Leake down there at second base, and they're going to intentionally walk Matt Carpenter. So this is respect or lack thereof, right? Because you've got the righty versus lefty Carpenter. Carpenter came in hitting .257. He does have a single and 2 groundouts, 1 for 3, but you've got Aledmys Diaz on deck, who is 0 for 3, but came in hitting .373. So they want the righty-righty matchup, and they want to go up against the youngster as opposed to the veteran in Carpenter.
And that's the idea, and trying to play matchups and looking at Barrett, .233 against lefties this year. And you go back and you look at what he does against righties, just .138 in his brief career. So you play the odds here. We saw the good slider that he struck out Jed Jerko with, and we've talked about how well he has done here in his rookie year, and that's the goal.
Here comes Mike Butcher, and this brings up a chance for us to talk about news that came out yesterday as far as Major League Baseball potentially making some rule changes for next year. One of those rule changes is getting rid of the intentional walk, having to throw the 4 pitches. Just say we want to put this guy on at first base. What do you think about that?
I hate it.
Me too.
And the reason is, listen, I'm all for making the game a little bit quicker, pace of play. That's the conversation. How long did that intentional walk take? 40 seconds, 60 maybe on the high end. We got that kind of time. It's okay to have the extra minute, and don't forget, things happen. Guys throw the ball away. It's going to happen. It takes you out of your rhythm as a pitcher. You have to lob 4 balls in there. Now you got to get locked back in. Sometimes that can mess a pitcher up, so there's a strategy involved there. What about Miguel Cabrera a few years ago when he was, more than a few, when he was with the Marlins, they were playing a game in Baltimore. They were trying to intentionally walk him. The ball was too close. He reached out and swung at it and got a base hit to right field. There is no reason to take that away. And then the other thing, which we just saw here, you give your home fans an opportunity to boo the visiting pitcher. All of these reasons, this has to stay. We have the 60 seconds to give.
Diaz takes the first pitch for a ball.
Can you tell I've been thinking about that a little bit?
And by the way, how many intentional walks do you have throughout the course of a game?
Glad you asked that question, Justin. The answer is 0.4 per game last year. We had 951 intentional walks, so less than 1 per game on average. You're talking about saving an average of about 30 seconds.
Off the end of the bat, Segura able to gather it and make the play. 1 run on the home run by Adams. We go to the 7th here in St. Louis, 3-0 Cardinals. Jed Jerko had the 2-run shot in the 2nd, the solo shot by Adams in the 6th. It is 3-0 as we go to the top of the 7th here in St. Louis. Mike Leake with 6 shutout innings will face 5, 6, 7 in the order. Weeks, Castillo, Owings for the Diamondbacks. Ricky Weeks 0 for 2. A ground out to the pitcher and a ground out to short his last time up, robbed of a base hit by Diaz. Ricky Weeks was one of those guys when he was with Milwaukee. He had that, he would shake that bat like Gary Sheffield.
And similar bat speed to Gary Sheffield as well to go with it.
Leake bouncing off the mound, throws to first, and Adams stays on the bag. Again, the athleticism of Mike Leake.
Well, this is such a great play, and we talk about it. We tease pitchers sometimes when they lack athleticism. But Mike Leake knows he's got that clock. He's got to hurry. He knows exactly how much time he has. And his only chance of getting Ricky Weeks is going to be if he bare hands that ball, fields it cleanly. Perfect throw. Great play by Mike Leake.
We just saw him hit a double over Weeks' head in left field, and now he takes a base hit away from Ricky Weeks, and Weeks is probably going, what's the deal with this league guy? One out now for Wellington Castillo. Castillo doubled his last time up as he takes the first pitch fastball first strike. Was hit by a pitch his first time. Castillo in the air, left field. Holiday is back by the warning track, will make the catch. MLB.TV Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service, delivers everything you have come to expect and more. Watch every out-of-market game live in HD on over 400 supported devices. Visit MLB.TV for details. 2 outs in the 7th. Chris Owings 0 for 2. Struck out looking his last time up. One of only 2 strikeout victims in the game for Mike Leake. Owings also grounded into a double play. And a chopper to first. Adams has a pop out of his mitt and does not recover in time. So that should be a 2-out error charge to Adams.
Let's see for Matt Adams if he had a hard time reading this ball, just misplayed it. So you watch the play here and you see kind of the chop, and I think the sun bothered him a little bit. I think he just misplayed it. The ball jumped out of his glove. Yeah, he caught it on the heel there instead of catching it in the web. We talked about the defense. It has been an issue for the St. Louis Cardinals and very uncharacteristic of them. Coming into this game, leading Major League Baseball in errors. There's a conversation that goes on about errors. Do they matter as much as we think? They absolutely matter.
Yeah.
Because what happens now, Mike Leake is throwing extra pitches. Could end up hurting how far, how deep you can go into the game, especially when you're talking about multiple errors for a team. Means you have to use your bullpen more. There are a lot of effects. Errors absolutely matter in Major League Baseball.
One ball, no strikes to Nick Ahmed. Fastball in there, 1-1. One ball, one strike. Man on first, 2 outs.
That's a good fastball down by Mike Leake. An even better job by Yadier Molina. And you get that call for 2 reasons, because that one may be below the zone, but when you have a catcher who receives as well as Molina does, and you have been around the plate as much as Mike Leake has today, more often than not, umpires won't admit this, but they're going to give you the benefit of the doubt as they fall into those habits when you get a guy who's cruising along the way that Mike Leake has been today.
The 1-2 from Leake. Spoiled foul by Ahmed. Well, just across the way here from the ballpark is Ballpark Village. This was put in a couple years ago, and it looks like it's been here the entire time. It is awesome. Restaurants, a chance to watch the game. That's a view from Ballpark Village. Those seats actually count towards the attendance for Busch Stadium.
Don't say that's similar to what they have in Waveland Avenue. Don't say it.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Don't say it.
Breaking ball. Ahmed chases it, and that'll do it here in the 7th. It's stretch time in St. Louis from Ballpark Village. 3-0 Cardinals. Well, time now for the Gatorade Frost Cool Under Pressure moments. And they are the 2 home runs. Jed Jerko and Matt Adams. And that is all the scoring we have had in this game. 3-0. Cardinals leading the D-backs. Bottom half of the 7th. A new pitcher on the hill for Arizona. It is the left-hander Andrew Chafin. Has appeared in 20 games. The ERA is up there over 5, 14 1/3 innings. 13 hits, 17 strikeouts to 7 walks. He'll face the right-hander Holiday, Piscotty, and Yadier Molina.
I see you didn't want to do the math on that ratio. 17
I didn't want to show off, okay? There's so much going on up here at the moment that to show off like that, I would make you feel bad.
You did a great job of dividing 2 into 14 really, really well, but it got silent when it went 17 and 7.
It's like 2.42,
yeah,
okay?
Nice to have a solid stat man next to you. I don't know what that's like.
Do you mean Andy Bonjean? I don't know what you're talking about. It's 1 ball, 1 strike to Holiday. Fastball is outside. 2 balls and 1 strike. Don't hate me because of my intelligence with math.
That's not the reason I hate you. What the fastball, 96 miles an hour from Chafin. We continue to see really good arms coming out of all bullpens, but even for the Arizona Diamondbacks, and good movement on that pitch as well.
There's a good fastball, 95 at the knees, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Although, was that below the kneecap or above the kneecap?
That's part of that conversation when you mentioned the intentional walks with the competition committee also talking about wanting to raise the strike zone as opposed to it just starting at the bottom of the knee. They now want the top of the knee.
Ground ball to short. Ahmed makes it look easy for the first out. Time for a game break. Let's check in with Kevin Burkhardt.
Let's check in with a former Cardinal, Joe Kelly, fresh off the DL today. And he's giving the Red Sox what they need, pitching to the tune of no-hit baseball through 6 innings. The only issue is he's got 96 pitches already. Don't see him going much further. Justin C.J., back to you.
Thank you very much, Kevin. So that's good news for Joe Kelly and for the Boston Red Sox. Here in St. Louis, it's 3-0 Cardinals, and Stephen Piscotty takes that first pitch fastball for 95 at the knees. Again, don't know if it was below or above the kneecap.
When you think about an umpire and the hard job that they have to watch everything in real time, we're great critics on instant replay, right? We see them and we get to see an instant replay and say everything that an umpire did wrong. But do we really think that they're going to be able to adjust from below the knee to above the knee at 96, 97, 98 miles an hour? I mean, you're talking about a couple of inches. It's almost unfair, in my opinion, to potentially ask the umpires to change the zone, which is what they're talking about maybe as soon as next year, to bring it up 3 inches maybe.
And then the reason for this is the strikeout numbers are through the roof. They go up each and every year. So let's say now you want to speed up the pace of play. Well, now you may have more walks, and more walks leads to a longer game.
Nobody wants to see that, and I understand that strikeouts are high right now. We'd like to see maybe a little bit more offense, but any decent baseball fan who loves watching this game that we're watching right now. This is a beautifully pitched game. The pace has been pretty good. I don't think anybody wants to see any more walks, or that anybody is wishing this game was 7-4 right now.
Piscotty to right center field. Drury back. This one hops the wall. Piscotty will hold up at second base with a 1-out opposite field double, his 14th double of the year.
This is one of the many things that makes this guy so good. Trying to go slider in, ends up finishing middle. And instead of trying to do too much, instead of trying to pull that ball, your team's got to lead late. A lot of guys will get big with their swing in that situation. Stays inside the ball, drives it the other way with power to one-hop the wall to right field. You think about the younger hitters we're talking about. Matt Adams isn't as young, but he's not an old hitter by any means. He hits an opposite field home run. Stephen Piscotty is sitting here going the other way, opposite field. Really, really mature swings. Watch Matt Adams first, as we saw him earlier. Ball down. Don't try to pull it. Doesn't roll over it. Now here comes Stephen Piscotty. Same thing. Trying to go in. Miss middle. Look at the head that's down on the ball. That is what is so impressive. As much as you talk about those strikeouts, a lot of times it's because guys are taking huge swings, especially with 2 strikes. Not Stephen Piscotty right there.
Yadier Molina hitting with a runner in scoring position. Fouls it back out of play. 0-1 to Molina. Stephen Piscotty, his last 4 games, now 9 for 13.
Well, the reason you see that batting average so high is because Yadier Molina is as good as anybody on this team using the whole field. And these are the guys that produce more in big situations. Their eyes don't get big. Their swing doesn't get bigger. Their heart rate does not start going faster. They're able to stay calm and have that good, even swing
and hit the ball where it's pitched.
A look back to second. Piscotty's not going anywhere. 45,117, a sellout here at Busch Stadium. The hits by direction for Yachty, just like you were talking about. He uses the entire field and trying to come through with a hit right now to drive in the 4th run of the game for the Cardinals. Going the other way, fouls it off. 0-2. You know, talking about this Diamondbacks team, as we mentioned at the top of the broadcast during the open, was the expectations. I mean, heck, even on the media guide, it says join the evolution. Signing of Zach Greinke, trading for Shelby Miller. You look at the way this team is constructed. You've got Jake Barrett coming in out of the bullpen. He throws 93 to 95. You got Andrew Chafin, a lefty right now, throwing 95. Molina to left field. Weeks turns. Another home run. First home run of the season for Yadier Molina, and now it's 5-0 Cardinals.
Well, I can promise you this, Yadier Molina is not thinking home run in that situation. He knows the score of the game. He knows he has a guy in scoring position that could score on a base hit. He's looking to drive that run in any way he can, but he recognizes an opportunity on this pitch to get the barrel of the ball and pull it, and he squares it up. And these fans here in St. Louis love this guy, and gets the curtain call on his first home run of the year. That doesn't happen too often when you're already winning 3-0. I think that just speaks to the love they have for Molina.
First pitch to Randall Grichuk is high and outside for ball 1. Last night was the Yachty Garden Gnome giveaway. And tonight, or today, gets the standing ovation after the 2-run home run. So all 5 runs for the Cardinals in this game have come via the home run.
Let's watch Molina here with a little leg kick, good load, and absolutely explodes on this baseball. Ricky Weeks knew it right away. Andrew Chafin knew it right away.
Up high with a fastball to Grichuk.
Now, I know you were getting ready to compliment some of the arms that were coming out of this Diamondback bullpen, but I thought you were making a good point, because the guys we're talking about are guys that are near the bottom, middle to the bottom. The guys that are pitching when they're winning games are also obviously really good. So the depth of this bullpen speaks to one that could compete and hold their end of the bargain up if they were to get to the postseason. They have the arms to do it.
Well, that's what you like to see. You like to see power arms coming out of the bullpen. Typically, those are the type of arms that help win a World Series championship.
You got Daniel Hudson and Tyler Clippard setting up Brad Ziegler, who is one of the most interesting closers in all of Major League Baseball, the opposite of what you were just talking about. But it's sidearm. Nothing seems to ever go above the thigh of a hitter. The way that he pitches for that angle, keeps the ball on the ground. He's been excellent since he broke into the big leagues with the A's.
Grichuk to right. Drury is there. 2 away here in the 7th.
And that's what we said in the open when we talked about this team. Yes, they got off to a slow start, but the pieces are here. This is not a team that is looking at their roster going, we need more production out of guys. We don't have the talent here. They have it. The division is certainly going to be a battle. It's not going to be easy. It's always going to be tough when you have the Giants and the Dodgers in your division. The Rockies have played really well this year, but if they can get going on all cylinders, if they can get that starting rotation worked out, the Arizona Diamondbacks could absolutely make a run and make some noise in this division before it's all said and done.
Although it is an even year, so that probably means the Giants will take the West.
And they just had a great week. Their rotation, Madison Bumgarner, complete game. Johnny Cueto the next day, a complete game. Jeff Samardzija the next day, 8 innings. Their rotation has been really solid, at least for the first 3. Matt Cain, Jake Peavy on the back end, though, have been a different story.
But that's what you need. If you have those 3 guys come playoff time, you should be okay.
Absolutely, and a good bullpen, you can win that way. I think the situation here for the Giants is whether or not they can win the division with what they have going on at the back end of their rotation right now.
0-2 to Adams is pulled foul. Yadier Molina, the 2-run shot here in the 7th to make it a 5-0 game. You know, it's funny. You think about his older brothers, Benji, Jose, and oftentimes you hear, oh, yeah, the youngest brother, he's the best. Well, this one held true. Adams going the opposite way again. Weeks coming in. Slides, can't make the catch. Adams is going to try for second, and he will be in there. Couple of extra base hits now in the game for Matt Adams.
And Ricky Weeks, as we talked about, not an outfielder by trade as he tries to make this sliding catch, and he was there. Wasn't as if that ball fell short. He just missed it. He'll tell you, even though that's not his natural position, that's a play that he expects to make.
Yadier Molina just having fun. Getting the attention of Matt Adams, making him laugh. 2 outs, runner in scoring position now for Jed Jerko. The 2-run homer in the second, couple of strikeouts since, and now he goes the opposite way. This gets down, and Adams will come in to score. A 2-out RBI single by Jerko. 6-0, St. Louis leading, and now a pinch hitter here for the Cardinals. It will be Jeremy Hazelbaker.
This is a pitch that was supposed to be away and run away from Jed Jerko. It finishes middle. Jerko again, the same approach that we've seen here from a lot of these St. Louis Cardinals hitters, lines that ball the other way. And how about the 7- and 8-hole hitters of these two guys in Matt Adams and Jed Jerko? Both with a couple of hits, a home run each, a double for Matt Adams. This single by Jed Jerko doing a nice job and making things even more confusing here in the future for Mike Matheny when Johnny Peralta gets off that disabled list.
Jeremy Hazelmaker to pinch hit, and this guy has been great as a pinch hitter. Swings and misses at the breaking ball for strike one.
Hazelbaker has just been a great story overall, and a reason why you never know what's going to happen in this game. A guy who was with the Los Angeles Dodgers last year in Double-A gets released, gets an opportunity with the St. Louis Cardinals, and has really capitalized on it this year.
Pulls it foul. He's got 3 pinch hit home runs on the season. That's tied for first in the majors. The pinch hitting overall for the Cardinals this year has been phenomenal. Look at that, a .361 average for pinch hitters.
One of the most difficult things to do in baseball, come off the bench, be asked to produce in the middle of a game that you have not been playing in. Certainly a nice asset to have here for the Cardinals with their strong bench.
And after all that, he strikes out to end the inning. But the smile for Yadier Molina, that says it all. A 2-run shot. It's now 6-0 St. Louis. Justin Kutcher alongside C.J. Nitkowski. The Diamondbacks and the Cardinals here at Busch Stadium. We go to the 8th inning on a beautiful day for baseball. And the new pitcher into the game for the Cardinals is Seung-Hwan Oh. And the first pitch is fouled back by the pinch hitter Phil Gosselin. We got a couple of changes. Jeremy Hazelbaker, who just pinch hit, will stay in the game and play left field. The new pitcher Seung-Hwan Oh. Outside, 1 ball and 1 strike.
This has been a great acquisition for the St. Louis Cardinals, and a guy who comes over on a 1-year deal. There's an option year for next year, making just $2.75 million. He was dominant in Korea, a closer there for years. I remember him, and without looking, Cebu Lions. He was pitching when I was there, if I'm not mistaken, and just one of the best that they had to offer. And you always wonder, you never know what you're going to get with a lot of guys when they come over, because the game is so different, especially in Korea. But he has been fantastic. Mike Matheny was raving about him, his work ethic, his adjustment here to the States. He has been impact in this St. Louis Cardinals bullpen.
2-2, called strike 3. The pinch hitter Goslin strikes out. His translator Eugene always next to the manager Matheny, the pitching coach Lilliquist when O is pitching.
Looks like he's ready to jog out there.
I was going to say, look at the sunglasses. I mean, he's stepping up his game.
Well, it's a big, important part, obviously, of the adjustment. You know, I played in Asia for 4 years, both Japan and Korea, and having a translator is hugely important. The communication between your coaches, especially when the games are played so differently, and they are played differently in each country, and the philosophies are different. And so communication, like anywhere, is critical, and having these translators for these guys is hugely helpful in putting them in the best position to succeed.
Segura fouls one away. 1 ball and 2 strikes. So did you have a translator when you went over there?
We did, absolutely. When I played in Japan, we had 3 my first year, 4 the second year, and then in Korea we just had 1 for the 2 foreigners. Now the number's up to 3. They can have 3 foreigners on a team in Korea. But it's just it cannot be understated how important and how much of a difference it makes.
Piscotty backs up to make the catch. 2 outs here in the 8th, and time now for our Budweiser game summary. And really, it looks like this. Home runs. Jerko, Adams, Molina, all with long balls. Mike Leake, 7 shutout innings. Just 4 hits, no walks, and 3 strikeouts. And Paul Goldschmidt, somebody who the Diamondbacks desperately need to get going, has picked up a couple of hits on the day.
The story here for me really has been Mike Leake now. 3 solid starts in a row. A guy that they bring in this offseason got off to a slow start. Contact was an issue. And he's not a strikeout guy. He never has been. But the contact was a little bit higher than we're used to seeing from him. More hits. The defense hasn't been the best behind him this year. We mentioned that with the Cardinals. But a really, really big start here. And certainly John Mozeliak and Mike Matheny have to be thrilled that they are now starting to see the Mike Matheny that they signed up this winter.
Well, Mike Leake, I mean, he was awesome in the spring. So you see him come in here out of spring, and you're thinking, all right, we paid him the money. He's coming here. We're going to get what we wanted. 1-2, and down goes Drury, swinging to end the 8th. We head to the bottom of the 8th here at Busch Stadium, and it's 6-0 Cardinals. Another pitcher into the game for the Diamondbacks. It is the 4th pitcher of the game, Zach Curtis, appearing in his 8th, 5 1/3 innings, 2 hits, 5 strikeouts, 2 walks. And he will face the top of the order, Matt Carpenter, Aledmus Diaz, and Matt Holliday. But this kid, Zach Curtis, with all the great stories in baseball, he's up there for maybe the greatest story. Matt Carpenter takes the first pitch outside for ball 1. Zach Curtis was playing in single A when all of a sudden he got called into his manager's office, and the manager told him, you're being promoted. So, CJ, you being the former big leaguer, if you're in single A and you get told you're being promoted, what are you thinking?
Double A? Triple A, probably unlikely. A ball is a completely different animal. A lot of raw talent, very few polished guys there thinking, okay, they're ready for me to make that next step and go to Double A, but that was not the case.
No. So his manager said, you're being promoted, and he's thinking, okay, I'm going to Mobile. Then he says, you're being promoted to Arizona.
You never ever forget that moment. That is one of the great things, one of the many great things that this game has to offer, is the personal stories the first time you get the call. But one that comes from A-ball is absolutely shocking for a guy like Zach Curtis. Now, he was an older A-ball player at 23, but still, this is never on his mind. And the thought at the time was, and we talked to Chip Hale about this, was that the player development people felt like he was the best option. They needed a lefty, and they looked at their system. Chip Hale did not know him at all. Did not know anything about him, trusted the player development guys and the scouts to go ahead and make this decision. It's on you guys. You tell me who the best available is. And they said Zach Curtis was the guy. And what a great story it is. And his career's gotten off to a fantastic start.
The 2-2 to Carpenter. A hard one-hopper to Goldschmidt makes the play for the first out. So we talk about this. What's it like when you're in single A being told you're getting called up to the big leagues? His pitching coach took this picture and put it out on Twitter. and it's awesome. I mean, I can't imagine the type of goosebumps and maybe tears that start streaming from the eyes of Zach Curtis hearing that you're going from single A
I get
to
it
majors.
right now looking at that picture, because I'm not only that, but I'm looking at his teammates and his coaches. His coaches don't get that opportunity either. Any manager and any coach in the minor leagues will tell you that one of the best parts of their job is being able to tell a guy that he is going to the big leagues, because they know what that means to a guy, especially when it's the first time. And so you can see the expression there. And the other thing for his teammates that are in A-ball thinking, you know, where are we going? We're so far away from the big leagues. To see a guy in your own clubhouse get the call is unbelievably encouraging and exciting. And so not only was it a great moment for Zach Curtis, which it was also a great moment for everybody else who shared that uniform with him, and gives them a ton of hope about what can actually happen in this game.
Aledmys Diaz at the plate, ahead in the count 2-0. He's 0 for 4 on the day. High and outside, 3-0. Diaz this year, when he's had 4 at-bats in a game, has gone hitless just 1 time. So now he's in danger. Although he is ahead in the count, 3 balls and no strikes against Zach Curtis. Takes the pitch for a strike.
And now the conversation becomes interesting to me as well, as we look at Zach Curtis. Has done well so far. He's got a long way to go to put the year in. They gave him number 62. I'm without asking him, I'm pretty certain they said, here's your number when you come from A-ball. Will he keep that number if he's back next year?
Diaz skies one to left. Weeks was coming in against Ahmed, and Ahmed had called for it. And the collision, everyone's all right. And Nick Ahmed makes the catch. So Diaz is 0 for 5 on the day. 2 outs now, and the pinch hitter will be Ruben Tejada.
Well, they're lucky this ball didn't fall, and you see Nick Ahmed, the hand goes up, he's calling for it, but certainly this is Ricky Weeks' ball, and Ricky Weeks, the former shortstop infielder, understands that. He knows that that is the left fielder's ball every time. We talk about pop-up priority, and when those balls are hit and you're going backwards, always the guy that's coming in has priority. Now, if it's an infield pop-up, yes, the shortstop has priority, but that is Ricky Weeks' baseball, but fortunately Nick Ahmed held on.
The pinch hitter is Ruben Tejada. Tejada comes in to hit in the 3-hole with the pitcher spot after the double switch. And he fouls this one off. 0-1. As far as Diaz is concerned, 0 for 5. That is the first 0 for 5 of the season, really of the career for Diaz. And Tejada, 179, no home runs, 2 RBIs. It was Tejada who they signed to play shortstop, thinking they were going to have him go. And then it was Diaz who ended up taking over.
And we didn't get a lot of time to see the Cardinals today, but I have to imagine that Ruben Tejada's arm is sore today. He pitched last night. First time in his career through an inning up there. He now has an ERA. It's a high one.
It's not a good one.
It's a couple of solo home runs that he allowed. But any position player will tell you the next day they think pitching is easy, and the first time they do it, that next day is one of the toughest.
Down the right field line, foul, long run, heck of an effort by Drury. Just came up short. Well, this is what you're talking about last night on the mound.
It was funny because they said it on the broadcast, and I was thinking the exact same thing. Ruben Tejada was throwing too hard last night. We saw him at 87, 88 miles an hour. That's the hitting speed. Any hitter will tell you, you're going to come in and you're not going to be a pitch. You'd much rather be 82, 83. It's a lot harder for big league hitters. You've seen them get fooled and look dumb against position players before, but that's the ones that usually throw in the low 80s. Mid to upper 80s is much more hittable, and that was the case for Ruben Tejada last night.
1 ball and 2 strikes to Tejada, 2 away in the 8th. Fouls it off again.
If I'm Tejada, I'm thinking payback right now. I mean, that's the way I got to look at it. It's all or nothing. 2 strikes doesn't matter. My team is winning. He can't hit 2 home runs, but he could at least be a -1 as opposed to a -2 as far as home runs allowed and home runs hit between him and the Diamondbacks this year.
Now you're going hockey because the St. Louis Blues are in the Western Conference Finals against the San Jose Sharks? Is that what you're doing, these plus minuses?
I'll be honest, I did not know that.
See, here I am trying to help you out.
One-trick pony over here, Justin.
2 balls and 2 strikes here to Tejada. That's a look inside Ballpark Village. Hockey will be on soon. That's right, wave. We're waving right back at you. Iron outside, now 3-2. Zach Curtis got Carpenter to hit to first on a nice play by Goldschmidt, retired him. Diaz popped out to short, and now it's 3-2 to the pinch hitter, Ruben Tejada. Up and in, ball 4. A 2-out walk from Curtis will bring up Stephen Piscotty, who doubled and scored his last time up. Piscotty 1 for 2, a couple of walks, the double, the run scored, and a ground out to third. No runs on 4 hits, 1 error for the D-backs. 6 runs on 9 hits, 1 error for the Cardinals. And the first pitch in there for a strike.
This is not a great matchup here for Zach Curtis. Stephen Piscotty, 405 against lefties this year. That's a big number.
Check swing. 0-2. Well, tomorrow a good pitching matchup on the finale of this 3-game series. Garcia against Greinke. Fox Sports Midwest and Fox Sports Arizona will have that game. C.J. will be chilling in Atlanta, right?
First flight out tomorrow. Get a couple of days off before I head back to Los Angeles and continue my work at FS1.
It's not as if the numbers against the righties are too shabby either. Fouled back, stays 1-2. Due up in the 9th for the D-backs, the heart of the order, Goldschmidt, Lamb, and Weeks. And Trevor Rosenthal is warming up out there in the bullpen for St. Louis, a non-save situation. And that's been the story for the Cardinals this year. When they win big. They don't have many save opportunities. Piscotty checks his swing, the appeal, and Mark Wegner at first says he did not go. There is Rosenthal. One of the hardest throwers in the game. And not a big guy either.
Well, he hasn't thrown in a couple of days. You look at the score of this game and saying, well, why would he be in, potentially be going into this game? Same thing for O. You want to keep your relievers sharp. You never like having more than 2 days off. Most guys do not. So that certainly would be the case here. So try to keep him sharp. O threw a couple of nights ago, 1 inning and 13 pitches, but it's the frequency of use that any reliever will tell you. In a perfect world, you throw every other day and you'd be able to put up your best numbers. And you start having too many days off and you start to get rusty, and then when it matters, you may not be exactly where you want to be.
3-2 runner going, line drive left field. Tejada takes the turn, he goes to third. Runners on the corners, 2 outs here in the 8th for St. Louis.
Well, we mentioned the matchup, lefty on righty here, not the greatest for Zach Curtis. And you get a situation where a fastball comes in flat, and that's about as middle as it gets for Stephen Piscotty. Watching Zach Curtis pitch, you don't see a lot of tilt. The arm angle comes down, the elbow drops a little bit, so you don't see a lot of angle top to bottom from him. And against right-handers, you can see why he may have an issue, especially against some of the better right-handers, with that fastball coming in a little bit flat when it's not running away from those righties. And Stephen Piscotty not going to miss too many fastballs that come in at that angle at that velocity.
Yadier Molina homered his last time up, that 2-run shot in the 7th. $45,117 here at Busch Stadium in St. Louis on this Saturday afternoon. And the first pitch, swing and a miss, 0-1.
You mentioned the Molina's dynasty, I guess you could say, that they have had as a family. Benji put a book together writing about himself and his brothers and their fathers, and their father. Worth checking out if you're interested in what this family has done. Benji's a good follow on Twitter as well. He's pretty active. He likes talking to fans, but
He's no C.J. Nitkowski on Twitter.
There's so few of us, but you think about just what they have done. It's been so incredible. Great inside stories. Worth checking out. The story of the father who raised an unlikely baseball dynasty. Benji Molina, now an author.
No
Very
balls
proud
and
of
2
his little
strikes.
brother.
Should be. He's putting together a Hall of Fame type career. Popped up first base side. Goldschmidt goes over for a look. This will reach the seats.
Yadi Molina, too, I think, also kind of starts an interesting conversation about players that we look at that we believe could manage one day. And I don't think there's anybody who doubts the fact that Yadi Molina, if he wanted to, could manage a Major League Baseball team when he's done. But the question becomes, will he want to? I mean, he has worked his tail off. He has had an unbelievable career, and he continues to go, and he has reaped great financial rewards from this game. You mentioned that 5 for 75 that he signed here. We'll lose some really good potential managerial candidates because the game has gotten so healthy financially.
Outside, 1 ball and 2 strikes. But don't you think a lot of people in the past got into managing and right now get into managing because they love the game and they want to help teach players the correct way to play the game? Do you think it was financially driven?
Not necessarily, but if you're on the fence and you're not sitting back and have done exceptionally well, you're probably looking to do something, and coaching in the game is one way to do it for former players. The issue becomes, if you like coaching or you like teaching, managing is actually not for you.
Right.
You want to be on the bench or you want to be in the minor leagues. Now, if you're looking for that competitiveness, which a lot of athletes struggle when their careers are over, is where do they exercise that competitive gene? It can be a little bit of an issue. Leading a Major League Baseball team when it's out of your hands to some degree is one way to do that. But I wonder about some of the potentially great coaches and managers we lose now because of the great health of the game financially.
Molina, ground ball. Ahmed will throw to first to end the inning. So Zach Curtis, the kid who gets the call up from single A straight to the majors. He gets out of the 8th with no runs coming across. A non-save situation for Trevor Rosenthal, but he needs the work, so he comes in. 8 of 9 in saves, a 1.38 ERA. The walks 11, the strikeouts 20. So not quite a 2-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio, Mr. C.J. Nitkowski.
No, and the walks certainly stick out when you're looking at Trevor Rosenthal. Maybe even a little bit more alarming. Over his last 5 games, he has walked 8 batters in 4 innings and has had just 3 strikeouts. There's 1 blown save in there, but his team has won all 5 of those games, which certainly helps. But a little interesting to see a sudden case of the walks here for Trevor Rosenthal over his last 5.
And you saw Ruben Tejada stays in the game at second base. Paul Goldschmidt leads off and takes that pitch for a ball. Goldschmidt 2 for 3, a couple of singles, and he hit one to the wall in right field. Piscotty made the play. One ball and 2 strikes. Off-speed pitch misses outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes, the count here to Goldschmidt. Goldschmidt did an offer, checked his swing, didn't matter. Strike 3 on the outside corner.
Well, look at this pitch here as it's just going to catch the corner. Fastball might have started even off and comes back. And again, look at Molina move a little bit at the end. That tells you all you need to know. That pitch is probably a ball, but it's quiet, subtle movements, and he gives home plate umpire Mike Winters a really good look at that pitch, and he gets the call.
Jake Lamb 0 for 3 with 3 ground outs, and he takes the first pitch for a strike.
That was amazing. You don't think about it right there. That pitch right there, Molina gets underneath that fastball and brings it up. That's a ball. For me, that is a ball, but it's just nice little movement and making that pitch look like a strike.
Fouls off the breaking ball, 0-2. And by the way, CJ, a big thing on Twitter today has been the fact that people are offended. I don't like the new uniforms by the D-backs. And apparently you wearing the teal, you knew teal is right for Arizona.
We learned a little bit.
It's not just the teal I don't like. Back up the middle, a base hit for Lamb.
What we've learned is that teal is native to that part of the country, and so we understand. And of course, at the very beginning, the Diamondbacks uniforms, there was some teal, but it looks at a character now based on what we've seen over the last set of uniforms they had. This is the third change for this organization as we see that base hit go right back up the middle and just miss Trevor Rosenthal. But it's a radical change. We're just not used to seeing that on a baseball uniform, especially recently, and so I understand why some people like yourself may not love it so much.
The blend of colors, those dots on there, and the fact that there are six different uniforms.
But you don't look at that. But you don't get those shoes if they don't do this.
You can.
You can, but it would look really out of place. Now think about that.
But it looks in place right now.
Ricky Weeks can only wear those shoes when they're wearing the uniforms that have teal in them. That alone makes it worth it.
Weeks hits one hard to left field. This one is gone. A two-run shot by Ricky Weeks against Trevor Rosenthal. That puts the D-backs on the board. And again, closers pitching in non-save situations.
A lot of people struggle with that concept and say, what's the difference? It's a 6-0 game. It's still an opportunity to win a game. But the adrenaline is never quite the same for a closer when it's not a save situation, as much as they try to tell themselves that it is. And Ricky Weeks, I mentioned it earlier, still has that really good bat speed. He's going to get to a fastball that you leave over the middle. Great swing on that pitch in what otherwise has been a pretty so-so day, not a great day for Ricky Weeks until that at-bat.
And by the way, I believe Spike Lee used to say it best. It's got to be the shoes. 0-1 to Wellington Castillo. Castillo, 1 for 2, a double, a hit by a pitch, and a fly out to left. Fouls it back, 0-2.
I mentioned Trevor Rosenthal's struggles over his last 5 and the 8 walks to just 3 strikeouts, but he's gotten 3 saves in that time. The one save that he did blow, he ended up getting a win in that game. So his struggles so far have not affected, at least his recent struggles have not affected this team at all.
Still no balls and 2 strikes here to Castillo. The ball is jumping here at Busch Stadium today. 4 home runs, 3 by the Cardinals, now 1 by the D-backs. And Castillo fouls it down the right field line to stay at no balls and 2 strikes. Ground ball, shortstop. Diaz is there. Easy throw over. 2 outs here in the 9th. The Cardinals, their defense has been suspect this year, but not really today. Stephen Piscotty taking an extra base hit away from Paul Goldschmidt. Diaz up the middle, made that play beautifully. And Mike Leake showing off his athleticism with a bare hand.
Not to toot my own horn, Justin, but I think you remember our keys to the game. We talked about the defense. I said the D was the key and was going to be if this game was going to be close for the St. Louis Cardinals, and they have answered the call. And really, are we surprised? Led by a pitcher who did a great job fielding his position.
Chris Owings, the last hope right now for the D-backs against Rosenthal. And the fastball misses for ball 1. Well, the Cardinals trying to even up their record at home on the year. They're 11-12 here at Busch Stadium. Back up the middle again, and Owings has his first hit of the day. The 3rd hit of the inning off of Trevor Rosenthal. Every ball has been hit hard. The single up the middle by Lamb, the 2-run homer by Weeks, and now this single by Owings.
And a lot of times you want to dismiss it the way that we have and saying, okay, it's a non-save situation, and we see this sometimes with closers, but the contact is a little bit alarming. We're seeing some comfortable swings on Trevor Rosenthal's fastball. He's got a good one. He's always had a good one. We've known that about him, but there seems to be some really comfortable swings and comfortable at-bats outside of the Paul Goldschmidt at-bat that we've seen so far in this inning off of Trevor Rosenthal.
And a fastball in there to Nick Ahmed. 0-1. Ahmed 1 for 3, a single, a ground out, and a strikeout. Runner takes off. Defensive indifference for Chris Owings. The Cardinals trying to move to 23-20. The D-backs in danger of falling to 20-25. A breaking ball drops in for strike 2. 45,117, a sellout. Many have left, feeling comfortable with the lead. It was 6-0 entering this 9th inning. 6-2 after the home run by Weeks. And now 1 ball and 2 strikes to Ahmed. Another breaking ball, sharply hit up the middle, gets through. Being held at third base is Owings, and now runners on the corners, and a pinch hitter coming up in Chris Herman.
If you're wondering about being aggressive and trying to score this run, at this point in the game, you take 0 chances. This run means absolutely nothing. You have got to get the next batter to the plate and try to keep the line moving. This team's still down by 4 runs. They actually still need to get the on-deck hitter at the plate to even try to tie this game. So you don't take the chance at all on a potential play at the plate. Very conservative base running at this point until this game gets within reach.
Derek Lilliquist, you saw him looking on. Again, defensive indifference. Taking the base at second is Ahmed. The pinch hitter is Herman, who's got good numbers. Herman on the year, 290, 5 home runs, 19 RBIs. He and Castillo have combined to put up big numbers from the catching position. Fastball is inside, 1-1. Kevin Segrist up in the bullpen now for the Cardinals, and this has happened a couple times with Trevor Rosenthal on the hill. Struggling of late, and they have to get somebody up in the bullpen. Foul back, 1-2 once again. The D-backs are down to their final strike. One ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 men on. The 1-2 is down low, 2-2.
We see Trevor Rosenthal trying to finish off that at bat with the changeup. You still have plenty of time here, plenty of room as far as Herman goes and where we are with the score of this game. A good located fastball would be his best bet in this 2-2 count.
The 2-2. Fastball missing low and inside at 97, and now a full count. And Gene Segura is on deck. And he represents the tying run. Three-2, fouled back. We'll do it again.
That's a great job by Herman fouling that ball off. That was the pitch. That's 95 miles an hour. It's down and away. It's well located. That's the way Trevor Rosenthal is trying to finish this at bat. And Herman spoiled that great pitch.
3-2, fouled back again. Another 3-2. Ball 4. The tying run will come to the plate against Trevor Rosenthal. And out to the mound comes Derek Lilliquist. And some unease here at Busch Stadium.
This is concerning, not just today, but like I mentioned, the last few now. 9 walks to 4 strikeouts in Trevor Rosenthal's last 6 appearances. That is concerning. Now, none of those games have hurt his team, as I mentioned earlier, but now you bring up the tying run and Jean Segura, who's 2 for 10 in his career against Trevor Rosenthal. He's been struck out 6 times. But you look at the Arizona Diamondbacks and what they have done from the 5th inning on from an offensive standpoint. They have been very good, scoring the 2nd most runs in Major League Baseball.
Segura, the tying run, and he's swinging at the first pitch and fouls it back. Jean Segura is 0 for 4, a couple flyouts to right. The bases are loaded here in the 9th with 2 outs. And Cardinal fans are holding their breath.
Whoa.
Holy cow, I've never seen that before.
And that looked like a huge cross-up, obviously, from Yadier Molina. Was expecting something else besides that fastball. Watch this ball sail as Molina sits down and away. The ball goes up and in. Hits that Busch Stadium sign and bounces all the way back.
I think it broke a piece off the eye.
That's what, 40 feet off that wall it bounced?
1 ball and 1 strike. Seung-Hwan Oh worked a perfect 8th inning for Mike Matheny and the Cards. Outside, 2 balls and 1 strike to Segura.
If Segura gets on, this probably has to be Trevor Rosenthal's last batter. The crossed up signs, the walk that we've seen, the hard hit balls. Right now he does not look right, probably more mentally than physically, because the velocity is there.
A breaking ball on 2-1, and Segura was thinking fastball tied up. Whew.
He tried to crush that ball. When you see a pitcher struggling and it's a 2-1 count with the bases loaded, you're thinking fastball every single time, and certainly Jean Segura was thinking that, sitting on it and trying to hit it out of the stadium.
2-2, goes back to it, gets the strikeout, and that's the ball game. 8 batters came to the plate in the 9th against Trevor Rosenthal. Rosenthal gave these fans a scare, but the Cardinals get the win. Mike Leake picks up his 3rd win of the season. The Cardinals are now 500 at home, 23-20 overall. The D-backs fall to 20-25. For C.J. Nitkowski and our entire crew here in St. Louis, I am Justin Kutcher saying so long. Coming up after the break, we'll get you to NASCAR in Charlotte. But the Cardinals defeat the D-backs to even a series at 1 game apiece, 6-2.